Evening, guys. Evening on this Wednesday night, August 3rd, 2022. What's up? It's AW here. In what order? I'm kind of bored, so I'm doing the stream now. You know, I did what I had to do earlier today, and yeah, and yes, as you can see, the title for the stream: Batman 2 sequel ideas on what they can do. Hush, Corel's, Mr.Freeze, and more. Also, I think it's safe to say with what's going on right now with Warner Brothers, I think it's safe to say that that the Batman 2, the sequel to the Batman, is safe. Now, the TV shows that are in that universe may not be safe. The Penguin and Arkham universe. That might not be safe. Who knows? Who knows? With the it's getting axed as of late, it's a possibility. What else? What else am I gonna send this to? I know. I'll say. But yeah, okay. So pretty much I'm gonna share this with everybody. You know what, Max? I don't care. But yeah, so I've been thinking what they could do for the sequel for the Batman. I know I've done this back in March when the movie came out with ideas, but it's fun to speculate now even more. Right? And yeah, those are, see, I have the three villains here. Corellis as well, more of an organization, more of a like it's been winning things, right? Secret organization been winning Gotham. Conspiracy kind of thing. And yes, and I know it says 7:30. I started 5 minutes earlier. Well, actually, about 8 minutes earlier. But that's okay. I don't think I'm gonna go long. I'm gonna have people on, but I don't want to go long because I'm gonna plan to be on a friend stream tonight. Who else is there? I don't know. And yes, guys. I'm gonna post a link. I'm gonna post a link in the comments below. I mean, in the DMs, not here. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just setting stuff up. All right. And this Saturday, I will be talking about what Warner Brothers should they reboot the DCU from scratch, basically from scratch, from the beginning, what they should do, and we'll give our thoughts on that. That's Saturday. But this is about the Batman too. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, okay, George, don't worry about it. I haven't posted anything yet. I'm doing it now. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing at something. The Batman is a blueprint. Yeah, we're gonna get into that, man. We're gonna get into that. Um, no, wrong person. Sorry. It's hard to keep track while you're on Twitter. It can't. It doesn't work like that, man. I mean, that's three separate universes. It's basically a multiverse. You're basically saying. Um, I don't know who else. Who else? Who else? I'm gonna. I don't, all right. Okay. Oh, I know who I want. And that's gonna be it for now. All right. Look. All right. Look out for links. All right, guys. Oh, I did send a link in the group. Okay. Sorry. I didn't see it. I'm looking for you, George, buddy. There we go. Okay. But yeah, okay. So while I wait for people to get on, whoever want to be invited, they're allowed on, whatever. I gotta get my Discord back on this new laptop, but I'm gonna get people on, whatever. Officer Martinez, whatever. You're all allowed on. Yeah, okay. So I assume everybody's seen the Batman, obviously, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this live stream. You wouldn't be watching this, and yeah, so on. So we left off the Batman with the city flooded. The city flooded, and Batman with the ending monologue that he needs to give something to the city to believe instead of vengeance and hope. Right? Hope is the answer. Right? Right? At first, the beginning of the movie was about vengeance, but now it's about an eye. How's George on? Hello, George.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Oh,
Listen. I had a good day at work yesterday. I work at summer camp. The news just really pissed me off.
Yeah. And the reason why they're doing it is like even worse because it's a tax write off, so it means they can't even sell it to another studio just to show it. It's sad.
All I can say before we move on to the Batman is this reminds me of the New York Knicks in the 2010s when Phil Jackson took over, and they thought he was going to be the savior, and instead he just like blew up the Knicks. That's what this is. Like Zaslav was seen as the savior. He's blowing the whole thing up.
Yeah, he's blowing everything up. He's everything. Like it's like he's starting from scratch. Seriously, like what?
He's Phil Jackson.
Oh yeah, definitely like Phil Jackson. Yeah, it's disheartening. We're gonna talk about that stuff on Saturday. If you're late, it's Saturday, we're gonna talk about that with the DCU part of Warner Brothers, what they should do, because tomorrow we might get some more news on DCU stuff if some stuff is canceled. All so far is that Batgirl's been shelved. Nothing else from the DCU has been canceled, but there's talk of being postponements, right? Like right now, postponing some of the movies, like moving Shazam and Aquaman back. There's been talk about that right now, today. And yeah, we're gonna get to that on Saturday, but it's not a good sign. It's not. It's just not a good sign. So yeah, obviously, okay. But back to Batman 2, the Batman 2 sequel stuff. Anybody, if you're all out in, guys. All right. The Batman 2, so okay. I was just saying before, we all know in the Batman, the city was flooded, right? City's flooded. Batman had an ending monologue. He's talking to the obviously the audience. He's saying that he has to change his ways about how to deal with crime, how to inspire. It's not about vengeance anymore. It's about hope, right?
Yeah.
Technically, yeah. It's about fear to the criminals, but hope to the good people. Right. It's a perfect contrast from like the really beginning when he took down that gang and he went up to that man who was in fearing for his life, but he was more scared of Batman than the gang. That's what the ending. I was foreshadowing the ending right there. Remember? If you all
Yeah, I
remember.
remember. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I was listening to a YouTuber I just recently found this week or last week named Bubba Talks. Guy's into a lot of DC, Marvel, but not just that. He's into Game of Thrones, Westworld, stuff like that. Lord of the Rings. He talks about how they can't really do maybe a corruption kind of story here because all the bad has been taken out, technically by the Riddler, if you think about it, right? And obviously the mayor that's been placed, I guess she automatically wins because her opponent was murdered. So I guess technically unanimously she wins, right? So she's not corrupt. Obviously she's not corrupt. You could tell she's not corrupt, right?
Yeah, and also at the end when Batman saves her, like you can basically see she's starting to warm up to Batman. So you're not going to see a hunt for Batman story going on either.
Yeah, this mirror is not going to be against Batman. This mirror is going to be for Batman. I could totally see that. This mirror is going to promote and say whatever, talking about Batman to the press. She's basically going to be in Batman's side. And obviously not everybody's going to be on Batman's side because you know what? That's Batman for you. Not everybody's like for Batman. Even the people that Batman tries to protect, save, are not for Batman. Perfect. He's not in the movie, but perfect person for that, perfect cop is Harvey Bullock. Harvey Bullock does not like Batman, but Harvey Bullock's a stand-up guy who based by the law, and I think deep down he kind of respects Batman, but he doesn't like Batman.
Yeah, Harvey Bullock, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically like, he's like someone that will be cordial with Batman, but won't be like his friend.
Exactly. So Batman will have that, and I think this Batman going forward will still have people like that because let's be honest, that's Batman lore for you. Batman has its detractors no matter what, even if they're not criminals, even the people, the regular citizens, are not always in favor of Batman. But now in the movie, you could tell in the movie that everybody was afraid of Batman. But now the citizens have warmed up to him, and now the mayor has warmed up to him. The citizens are going to be less afraid. And you could tell by the end of the film with that girl on a gurney who's being taken to the hospital because of the flood. She didn't want him to leave by her side, right? You could tell by that. That's a perfect example how the citizens are warming up for him. And also how the mayor, the ex-mayor, the ex-mayor's son was in the water, in the flood in Gotham Square Arena, basically a whip-off of Madison Square Arena. Madison Square Garden, right? Gotham Square Garden.
Yeah. It reminded me of the Garden. I've been to the Garden before, so.
Yeah. And you can tell in that scene, the son, when the Batman had the torch, right? The ex-mayor's son, the mayor's son took Batman's hand, and then the mayor took his hand, and then that's how you know. That's how you know. You could believe in Batman. There's some mirrors out there again because Batman, what he did the ultimate sacrifice at the end because he could have died. He could have killed himself right there with because if he didn't do anything with the electric wire and that electric wire fell into the water, all those people would have been dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because electricity and water do not mix. Right? They do not mix.
Yep. That's true. Especially because I remember like when I was a kid, like this new pool opened and like someone like we had these like shower things that ultimately got taken down because someone because they were by a wire and a kid grabbed the wire while using the
Well,
shower and he got shocked. He lived, but like he also fell in the pool that was like right by
I
it.
don't,
So it was like,
I don't know how there's people that sometimes like bring like radios into the shower where they want to listen to the radio while they're showering or taking a towel like or something like that. I'm like, dude, that's not a bright idea. It's not. You shouldn't. Electricity should be far away from water. Period.
yeah.
Like that's why I think Thor could beat Aquaman. If Thor could use his electricity, his power, and Aquaman's in water, Aquaman's done. But
Yeah,
yeah, but that's a
like
different story.
literally, if Thor ever fought Aquaman, yeah, Thor would fry him. Same thing
Yeah.
with Electro. Electro would fry him.
Yeah, exactly. And DC stands, DC stands. You could not deny that fact. Okay, it's just because in real life, water and electricity don't mix. Pokemon explains that. What you know Pokemon, George, right?
Yeah, like type advantage.
Yeah, electricity always beats water in Pokemon, right? Squirtle loses a Pikachu.
Yeah, yo, in the Pokemon anime, like Ash could have taken Misty's Pokemon on if like Pikachu decided to fight against Misty, but he chose not to.
Yeah, yeah.
They had to make it hard for Ash by having Pikachu be reluctant.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice, CGH. You know, I may use that. Can I use that? Us, yeah. So now, and obviously, we obviously know Batman or Bruce Wayne. He's gonna come out of shadow as the playboy, the playboy billionaire. It's gonna help Gotham by coming out of the shadow because he was very reclusive as a person. He was just hiding in the Wayne Tower. When he comes out the Wayne Tower when he needs to as Batman. Everything he did when he comes out of the tower is basically him undercover or him in the Batman costume, right?
Yeah.
But now I think it's pretty obvious. He can't. The city is flooded, right? He cannot fix the city by being Batman. He cannot fix the city by being Batman. Batman cannot do that, right?
Yeah, he definitely can't do that.
Yeah, so that's why he needs to be Bruce. Well, technically, Batman is his Bruce Wayne persona. Really, Batman is his real self. But in this case, he has to bring out the fake persona, the billionaire one. He has to use that to help Gotham to repair the damages of the city, right? Help with hospitals, buildings that have been destroyed, stuff like that. Yeah, he has to use that. Thank you, CJ. Thank you. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, especially because like they've hinted at with the mayor who was a candidate at the time saying, your parents did this and this. You could be helping the city out more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his parents. That's the thing. I know there's some tales that like Telltale games where his parents were like the father's known as a mobster, but most of the time, most of his lore about his parents that they're always charitable people, always good for Gotham. They always wanted to help Gotham, and his father Thomas always told Bruce as a young kid to always do good for Gotham, always give back to the people of Gotham. That's why Bruce has this thing says the missions. This is always a mission, right? He says the mission. Look, it really is no mission, but to him, this is a mission to save Gotham. He said that mission is a promise to his parents. They'll do whatever it takes to save Gotham.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, that mission's never going to end. That mission, because most missions always have an ending. You either die or you abort. This mission that he's on, it's going to keep going on and on forever because you know what? As much as you want to end crime can never end. It could get better, but cannot end, period. It's going to kill him. It's literally going to kill him. Selena Kyle basically said it. This is going to kill you. He knows that too.
Yo, like it almost killed him in the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. And he did go away for 8 years. Remember that?
Yeah. So basically like the mission, like here's the thing, like Batman Beyond, like even when he was old, like he still wanted to continue the mission.
Yeah. He basically did. And because he still had the cave and stuff. He's still aware. Yeah. Um. So now, now, now the thing with this movie is the sequel. It hinges on the Penguin and Arkham show because if those two get axed, it could change the whole thing. It could personally change the whole setup to this movie. And Matt Reeves has said, well, actually, I think it's Colin Farrell said that Matt Reeves there's already writing a script. They already built a script for Penguin, and Matt Reeves didn't write the script, but he's hands on with that show. I'm sure he's hands on with the Arkham, but I think Matt Reeves is ready rolling the script for the Batman 2. And if Penguin and Arkham show get canceled, which is I guess it's a possibility, he has to he has to change his whole scripts and everything because to fit the sequel, because as I said, it get canceled. It could change the whole trajectory of the sequel, you know?
Yeah.
And I really do like some of the villains. I love Hush. I love Hush. Hush is one of my favorite villains. But I don't think Hush is going to be used. I personally think they kind of mix Edward Nigma's character with Thomas Elliott's character a bit. And I know I made a video back in March talking about Hush, why I think Hush and the Riddler are kind of like similar in this movie. I forgot to mention that video when it was revealed Edward Elliot, right, the reporter who was gonna snitch on Thomas Wayne about his wife from his wife. In this universe, Martha Wayne is Martha Arkham, not Martha Kane. That's why. So, if you're hoping for Kate Kane eventually, I don't know if that's gonna happen. But Bruce didn't seem phased about the last name Elliot, because if you know in the comics, Thomas Elliot and Bruce Wayne were like best friends that became enemies, obviously. But in the movie, he didn't seem phased with that last name Elliot. It's like, so perhaps he never knew Thomas Elliot. He never knew the Elliots personally, maybe because he never looked like he's shocked with that name Elliot,
Yeah.
Because exactly, George. Like I would think if they were going to do Hush and it's gonna be Thomas Elliot, I would think he'd be realizing that the reporter's name is Edward Elliot. I would think he'd be shocked to hear that name. Like seriously.
I mean, Hush definitely fits like the theme of this universe. I feel like
He does.
I feel like though, like if he's gonna be used, I can see him being like a third movie villain, not exactly a second movie villain yet.
Yeah, I can see Hush be like, if they want to do Hush, have all the villains he could be pulling strings from the very beginning. Riddler was just a pawn the whole time. Joker was just a pawn, and whatever villains come, they're all pawns in Hush's game. That's basically the story of in the Batman Hush, right? When he reintroduced, Hush was basically winning things, but it turned out Riddler was really in charge. I would change that I would change that for this story, because it doesn't have to be exactly like a comics. You can be inspired, but it doesn't have to exactly be like comics.
Yeah, to me, I think a villain that would be very interesting for the sequel to the Batman could be Mr.Freeze, because I feel like you've done like the corrupt like side of Gotham and like this and that. I feel like Mr.Freeze, a sympathetic villain, could fit the mold, especially with like the changes Bruce Wayne's gonna be going through.
I think you made a perfect point right there. Have Batman develop sympathy, empathy for his villains. Like Mr. Freeze is a good choice, because that's what Batman's about. Like guys, like Batman. Yeah, there's some villains in the Batman universe are like maybe beyond sympathy, like Scarecrow. You could argue Joker is, but Batman always feels like he's responsible for the Joker. Well, I could say for Black Mask. Black Mask is one of them. But there's villains that deserve sympathy, like Mr. Freeze, Two-Face. I'll put Poison Ivy in there, Harley Quinn. I'll even put Killer Croc in there. The Ventriloquist. Well, Arnold Wesker, of course. But yeah, Mr. Freeze. Like how I would do Mr. Freeze and how KP would do Corvallis. Good idea here. This is what I would do. If this is my idea. If Bruce Wayne's out of his shadows, helping out the city, right? he mingles among the Gotham elite, and maybe the Gotham elite are secretly part of the Court of Owls, and they somehow have Mr. Freeze do their bidding for them, right? And they're blackmailing Mr. Freeze. His wife is sick or something, terrible disease, whatever, life-threatening disease, and they're blackmailing him, Mr. Freeze, and they're blackmailing Mr. Freeze to do whatever they tell him to do. And Bruce finds that out, or Batman, whatever, and his Batman finds that out. Like he takes down the Coriolis and feels sympathetic for Mr. Freeze that way, and like he'll do what it takes to take down Mr. Freeze, but he's not happy about it. He's not like he doesn't want to do it, but he has to do it. And he will.
Like I remember like the Heart of Ice episode of Batman the Animated Series, where like in reality the main villain wasn't. I wouldn't consider Mr. Freeze. It was the people that wronged him.
Boyle, the guy Boyle.
Yeah.
I would use Boyle as one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I would do that. And Penguin may have a connection to the Court of Owls because I know in the comics he kind of did. Because Penguin, also, I know Dick Grayson did, but I think that they're not going to do that. But yeah, I think that's a perfect. Mr. Freeze is basically their hired assassin, and they're blackmailing him to do their bidding, and maybe they do have talents, whatever, and stuff like that. And they could do that detective expert that, or they could do something crazy, not with Mr. Freeze, Thomas Wayne, not Flashpoint. But if you know the Coral storyline, remember Lincoln March?
Yep.
Something like that. Maybe Martha Arkham had a secret child or something. Or somebody. Maybe? And maybe his brother.
That would be like, that's the thing. Like, you gotta like continue to find ways to surprise people with these next two movies to keep them engaged. Especially because it's like it feels like this like is the safe like DC franchise right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much the safest franchise right now.
So like you need to keep people like invested in this franchise because who knows what's going on with the other stuff. So like keep finding ways to like surprise people. Like I was in shock and awe when like the stuff came out about Thomas and Martha in the Batman. It was like, oh, I did not see this coming.
You know what? Neither did I, but I have no problem with that. Like I actually liked it. I mean, I like that. Like Thomas Wayne wasn't a bad guy. He just made a mistake, and he wanted to protect his mother, Bruce's mother, his wife, basically. Because that kind of stuff gets out. I mean, I can explain why Bruce may have also mental issues in a stroke. Obviously, he has PSD, right? PSD from seeing his parents' death. That's obvious. It's reclusive, but it can also be passed down from his mother. Some of his mental illness passed on his mother. But you could clearly see in this Bruce, in the first movie, he has survivor's guilt, right? He has survivor's guilt because he says he doesn't care if he lives, right? He doesn't care about the legacy of his. Well, he thinks what he's doing is his legacy. He thought what he was doing was his legacy of his parents, and he says he doesn't care if his life. He always has survivor's guilt because he feels like he should have died that day with his parents.
Yeah, and again, we like here's the thing, like one of the things like you see in like Batman Begins is like you see like where Bruce's guilt comes from, the fact that like he was the one that wanted to leave the show, and he even said to Alfred, had I not gotten scared, they could have still been alive. Like we don't really know exactly like what transpired like to get like the Waynes like
that's from the comics too.
Like did he go see a movie or a show and like maybe if he didn't want to see it or leave, like maybe his parents could have lived like.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's survivor's guilt in this film, in Batman. He's always been like, yeah. In the comics, I think it's different. Sometimes it's a movie, or sometimes it's a play, or something like that. They always change, right?
Yeah. It feels like it changes.
But the story is always the same though. They still get murdered in the alleyway. And I don't know about which wealthy couple would go in the alleyway. I don't know why, but with no protection. But oh well. They need to create a dark hero
Well,
Uh,
I feel like the Waynes, they're the kind of people that would like not judge other people. They
they're
want to help
not.
the city, so like they would want to like be like, okay, well, trust going into an alleyway, and
Yeah,
obviously that would
they
backfire.
even though they should still know better than that. But you're
Yeah,
right.
but it's
You're
like
right.
most rich people will be like, no, we ain't gonna go in the alleyway with these filthy homeless people. Like the Waynes,
I think
meanwhile,
that
they're like,
I think even non-rich people would do the same thing. I think I'm not rich, and I probably wouldn't go in the alleyway with
yeah,
the
I
homeless.
wouldn't go in the alleyway either. Like I live in New York City. I ain't never going in an alleyway in New York City.
Unless Spawn protects us.
Like I live on Staten Island, but I go into Manhattan quite a bit. Like I ain't going in an alleyway.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. but the but Mr. Freeze, Court Alice, Hash is all good. I know there's this rumor that Black Mask might be in the Penguin series. It kind of makes sense, right? If you're gonna have since Carmine Falcone is dead, we might have other different crime organizations try to rise to the top, like Penguin, for example, maybe Black Mask. It based on what happened in this movie with all the corruption, taking down Maroney. Maroney technically should be walked free.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be interesting to see as well.
Mm-hmm. Rupert Thorne. Um, I don't know who else. Who else is? Uh, yeah, I don't know who else. And no, I would love to see Vicki Vale in this film.
Yeah, I would like to see like the Vicki Vale that's similar to like the Arkham games. That's like a very nosy reporter.
Yeah, yeah, I like the Arkham Vicki Vale.
Yeah,
I just look.
not the Vicki Vale in Batman '89 that screams more than Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane.
Oh no,
Not that one.
Vic. Yeah, Vicki Vale would be perfect. You can have her as love interest slash reporter who is interested in Batman, but is also interested in Bruce Wayne and, and
My only
stuff.
qu- my only question is, are they going to introduce Robin like so soon in Batman 2 or wait for Batman 3?
That's a good question because I feel like they have established him as Bruce Wayne yet. I mean, they need to establish that first. They need to establish him as Bruce Wayne first, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I know they're planning a trilogy of these three movies, but I talked to our buddy Brian Brill. He and I agree. I think there might be a fourth or a fifth down the line. I just have a feeling that might happen. And that's what I think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna end up doing a fourth or fifth movie, and we'll eventually get Robin in one of them, or Dick Grayson, and I don't know about characters like Jason Todd.
I would love to see Jason Todd,
Yeah,
and I would love to see live action. I would love to see a Batman Under the Red Hood film. To me, that's one of the most interesting stories, the death of the family, then like Under the Red Hood. I would love to see that. I actually think that's what they should have done with Ben Affleck's Batman movie until they obviously changed the plans.
it's Dick Grayson.
Yeah, that all will always piss me off. But it's like no, like I want to like from like when I found out there's a dead Joker in BVS, I was like, okay, let's do Under the Red Hood. Let's go.
Oh yeah, remember a lot of people thought Jason Todd was going to come back as another Joker. Some people.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was so bizarre. Oh,
yeah.
speaking of Jason Todd, this weekend I was in Target. I actually found an Arkham Knight figure and I actually bought it.
Oh really? Oh, you know they
Yeah.
introduced Arkham Knight in the comics, but it's a different character, like a different person.
Oh wow.
Hmm. Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah.
I
Those are
found it
some
in
of my.
Target. And like usually I find toys like that in my comic book store at my mall. But yeah, no, I found it in Target. I was like, I'm gonna buy this because I actually like the Arkham Knight video game a lot.
Oh yeah. I love that game. I love all the Arkham games, even
Yeah.
Origins. Origins is such an underrated game.
Origins, like I've replayed Origins so many times because I love the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's a great story. Like Origins is one of the best Batman origins. Well, it's technically it's 2 year Batman, but one of the best storytelling origins of all Batman stuff. Like it's just,
But it's
and
like
the thing is, go ahead.
you can like say like Batman Origins is like for Batman kind of similar to how like you kind of see like Spider-Man Homecoming, where it's more about how do they become the Spider-Man or the Batman, because in Batman Arkham Origins he's got a lot of anger, like he like makes a lot of like rush decisions. He doesn't want to work with anyone, and it's like you see like throughout the film like him becoming the Batman that we know.
Yeah, and he has
So it's like more about like how do they become the version that we know.
and he even expresses doubt, and when he feels like he can't do this, he can't even protect his home. Like that's what I like. I mean, I like a vulnerable Batman. Like a lot of people don't like a vulnerable Batman. I love a vulnerable Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Like, here's the thing: people want Batman similar to like the Dark Knight Returns and what Zack Snyder did. When it's like, no, like Batman is more than just this edgy, like gritty fighter. Like, there's more to Batman. Like, if
Here's
you watch
I
like the
think
DCAU, like
oh
particularly like Justice League, like when he's comforting like
Ace.
that kid Ace, like his compassion, like taking
What
in these
about Baby
kids.
Doll? His Baby
Yeah,
Doll.
the baby doll stuff, like how heartbroken he was in Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh yeah, and also there's other yeah, I mean he like the animated show shows so much of his compassionate side about Batman, and people want Batman to be like, oh, this vengeful hero that takes shit from nobody, that doesn't care, just wants to beat up the villains. No, there's an interesting in comics where even the comics shows Batman just talking to whoever, just to understand them, to help them out. Like Jessica Cruz, for example. If you know Jessica Cruz, people, she's a Green Lantern, right? And if you know her story, her friend, she was in a camping trip or something, and her friends were murdered by the mob, and she witnessed it, and she suffered from a severe anxiety. She never basically left her condo or apartment for like 4 years. Then she got this ring, and she dealt herself and stuff. And this ring was like giving her lies, and Batman was just like, Batman just came in, Batman, and that ring was telling lies about Batman. Batman was like, you're you're just like me, you're a victim, right? Because Batman admits he's a victim, right? He's a victim because obviously his parents died. You're just like me, a victim and stuff. He's the one he's the one who will try to help out people just by talking to them. He's not always about fists.
Exactly. It's like Batman like is more than that. Like looking like the Arkham Knight like fight like with like Jason Todd, like it wasn't much of a fight. It was him like trying to reason with him.
Yeah, he'll do that. Look, with 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 Man Bat, he found out what Man Bat happened to Man Bat, what he really was, and who he really was, and what happened. He didn't want to really fight Man Bat. He just wanted to cure him, right?
Yeah.
Look at Two Face. Two Face is a perfect example in Arkham Knight. Oh, that's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah, this is him, the Arkham Knight, like right here. Well, let's see. Yep, right here. Yep, the Arkham Knight. And I also got Pattinson right here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, I got Pattinson. And I know the other week I got, I'm not going to show him off right now. I got Doctor Strange and Gore the God Butcher as well. Like that's what happens when I'm working full time. I can spend my money freely again.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'll be honest with you. Thor, I liked Thor a little bit, but the stuff in that movie, the jokes were way too much.
Yo, my
Way too much.
supervisor said it felt like an acid trip, and he's the
Yeah.
biggest Marvel fan. Like I always joke around and say, "You're running a Marvel bias campsite," and it's like ultimately, you know what? After this news, it's like, you know what? Be as biased as you can because Marvel is just dominating. Like, listen, not every project's gonna land, but you know what? They have trust.
Yeah, they have trust. Yeah, their brand has trust. Despite how people feel about Phase 4. Because I'm gonna be honest, Phase 4 was all over the place.
Yeah, like honestly, like the only movies I can say I really love and will probably go back and rewatch in Phase 4 were No Way Home, Shang-Chi, and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I like Shang-Chi, No Way Home. Okay, I made it like Eternals. I did like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness a lot, but I started thinking about it. I did not like it a lot. I liked it, but not a lot anymore because there were some things that don't make sense in that movie.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw it twice in theaters because my mom wants to see it. I actually liked it more the second time.
Okay. Oh yeah. And then we got Thor. I'm like, come on! Like you got Gore the God Bush. The guy's a freaking psychopath in the comics.
Like, but it's like I'm hoping now that they know what this arc is, like they're gonna have direction.
Yeah, let's hope. And
But
you know
like
what the
again, they got more direction in DC right now.
yes. And you know people are complaining about the VFX. I think that one of the reasons why people are complaining about the VFX is because of shows. I think the Disney Plus Marvel shows is way too much. You have like 4 or 5 a year, way too much. 4 or 5 shows and like 3 or 4 movies a year is way too much. You're overworking the VFX people with this stuff. With this
Yeah, it's like
amount of Marvel stuff.
I get it. You want to have all these characters like not just set up for films because Miss Marvel like set up Kamala Khan for the Marvels. You set up getting Sam Wilson to be Captain America for Captain America 4, but it's like ultimately like you gotta have some breathing room.
Oh yeah, yeah, I agree.
Especially because like these shows, listen, like you take the length, like these shows, like all the episodes, they're longer than the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like ultimately, like I get it, you can't have like 6 or 7 Marvel movies, but a year, but like there's got to be some breathing room.
I'm just checking stuff on Twitter. Sorry, man, they're going to
Yeah.
stupid reality
Well,
show
well, I
stuff.
well, I saw like a thing, and this is something you can bring up Saturday. How apparently like Supergirl, I think, is gonna get canceled.
I didn't even know Supergirl was in the works.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like unless like they have no plans with Supergirl after the Flash.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They Salazar wants. I think it was basically wants to restructure DC with this most prominent characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and stuff like that. But he has the Batman. Like I'm afraid they're going to have the Batman that universe, Matt Reeves, incorporate all the power like beings, characters like Superman, Wonder Woman, in that universe eventually. I just have a feeling that's going to happen. And I don't think it could work. It's just that the tone would have to be different for Superman than it would be for Batman. Batman has to work in a gritty Gotham. Superman cannot. Metropolis is not gritty.
A gritty Metropolis would just feel so off. It's like, could you
Yeah,
imagine Toyman being this dark and gritty, like villain?
that pissed off a lot of people who don't want like they say Superman's gritty in the Zack Snyder stuff, right? If you do it in the Matt Reeves universe, it's gonna be just people are gonna be even more pissed off once again. You don't do that as Superman.
It's like there's a reason why they're like them alongside Wonder Woman are called the Trinity. There's a reason why like they have to be polar opposites.
Marvel doesn't make their characters gritty.
It's like here's the thing: they know when the characters have to be gritty. Like let's say Daredevil, they know when to make those characters gritty.
Yeah, Daredevil, for example. But they're not gonna make They're not gonna make Iron Man a gritty hero. They're not gonna make Thor a gritty. You're not gonna. You can't.
It's like here's the thing: Spider-Man's really only gritty when he's got the black suit on. It's like
Yeah, because it
wait for the
changes his
black suit
personality.
arc to make Tom Holland Spider-Man gritty. Like
It changes his personality. Yeah, exactly. See, I mean, I have no problem with superheroes growing or villains growing into the character, but like with Superman, it's how he is raised, right? It's how he raised on the farm, man. And he brings that not just as Superman, but also as Clark Kent. Like basically, Superman's personality is Clark Kent. It's just basically the same person. Basically, I mean, it's not like Batman where he has to pretend to be somebody else. You know, Clark Kent and Superman are basically the same peoples.
Yeah, it's like here's the thing, like first of all, if they ever make like DC characters in Matt Reeves' universe, Matt Reeves is not going to direct them. He's not going to direct Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash. He's not going to direct them. Like they're going to be handled by different directors who understand like exactly what these characters are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Warner Bros. Could do whatever they want. They could say, "Oh yeah, we're going to introduce them," but I think they have to ask Matt Reeves permission if it's okay.
Yeah, here's the thing. I can see Matt Reeves at first being okay with like characters like let's say Green Arrow.
Green Arrow,
Or,
yeah.
Like that's the thing. I can see the more grounded like
Huntress.
DC heroes, like being in this universe at first. Like if they're gonna say, okay, can we start testing the waters and seeing what can work and what doesn't work?
Yeah, Green Arrow is perfect because he's basically the same as Bruce Wayne. If you think about it, human, a guy, basically a human, a man, witch. Except the only difference is he's not like Big Bruce. So he doesn't fake what he is. But yeah, I can see Green Arrow working. I can see Huntress working. Obviously, the Robins, all of them, Batgirl. I can see who else?
I'm trying to think like who else like because again that's who I see Matt Reeves more so agreeing with because Matt Reeves is basically like the tone is essentially a more realistic Gotham and Batman.
Yeah.
But again, like Warner Brothers and DC works in mysterious ways, so you never know when they'll say, "Hey, so you've got 2 to 3 Batman movies done. You want to put it together, put it in a cinematic universe where we can help reboot our other characters."
You know what's sad? Batgirl. I know Batgirl is more popular than most of the MCU characters.
Exactly. Like here's the thing, Batgirl actually could have made a good amount of money if it released in theaters.
I think so.
Like here's the thing, nostalgia, like people will go for nostalgia, just like have Michael Keaton in the trailers and be like, okay.
Michael Keaton sells itself. Right there, he sells
it. His appearance will be better than his appearance in Morbius.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
And it sounded like he actually had quite a few action scenes in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like not like Michael Keaton's like just there to like be there like to be grumpy old man Bruce. It's like it looked like he actually had like something going.
Honestly, if his plan was to be like the Nick Fury of Batman, where he recruits everybody, I hate that. I don't think Batman is the type of person that recruits.
No, you're making the same mistake that you know people were criticizing Ben Affleck's Batman with the Snyderverse being a recruiter. He's not a recruiter.
Yeah, Batman's
He's
always
a part-timer.
Batman, you'd be like the last one to join, officially join. Like, Wonder Woman to me is the recruiter. Wonder Woman's always been like the recruiter.
Like the Justice League cartoon, you look at that, it's like, oh, I'll be a part-timer. Like I'll be there when you need me, and you will be.
Yeah. Yeah, like Batman, while he's who helped the Justice League with world threats, he's very dedicated to his city. His city, while it sounds selfish, his city kind of comes first to him.
Yeah, it's definitely always going to come first for him.
Heart of Hush, man. Oh, you really want to go that far, huh, Bambriel? Oh. I love Heart of Hush, though. That was a great story, though. Oh, when he made his face look like when he performed plastic surgery on himself to make himself look like Bruce Wayne. Hush. Heart of Hush is amazing.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. Like a story where like you destroy Bruce Wayne and his reputation.
Yeah, I mean he could do that. He could do stuff like that, but he needs a reputation right first. He needs a reputation as Bruce Wayne.
That's why I say they should save Hush for the third film. Build up, Bruce Wayne being the generous but also goofy playboy.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. Because Hush knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. We all know that, but he doesn't care about the Batman part. He cares about the Bruce Wayne part mostly because he sees Bruce Wayne as lucky to have all his wealth, have all his power, and stuff like that. And that's what he's jealous of. That's what he wants. That's what Hush wants. He wants what Bruce Wayne has, notoriety, right? Right? He wants to be in the spotlight, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And he doesn't understand why Bruce Wayne is so bitter and so angry, even though Hush knows Bruce Wayne's parents died, but he's lucky to get what he wants because Hush wanted that. Hush hated his parents. And he says Bruce Wayne is lucky. Bruce Wayne is lucky to get everything. Well, and the thing is, Hush eventually did get his inheritance, but it was more than his inheritance he wanted. He wanted to be in the spotlight among the public. They could. Hey, you want in, Blind Brother Man? You want in? You could come in. I think I sent you a link, didn't I? Hush little. But the thing is, when he revealed Edward Elliot, Bruce Wayne never seen Faze, or Batman didn't see Faze by the last name. I'm like, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe Hush is not gonna be involved in this story. And I know Robert Pattinson said he wants to see Court of Owls, but also he wants to Calendar Man. What do you think, Calendar Man?
I'm not the biggest Calendar Man fan, if I'm going to be honest. Like,
I don't know, because you can't have. Yeah,
I could see him maybe being like the goofy villain that Batman fights at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, because Calendar Man that would be like almost like a year-end villain. You have to he does something on Halloween, and it's Christmas, New Year's, because he only does it on holidays or special days. And I don't think they would go for that. And because I remember Arkham Origins, Batman brought down Calendar Man, and I love this. Commissioner Gore is being interviewed by the press. Is like, the press is like, Commissioner Gore, what is the rumor saying? That was it the police that captured Julian Day? Commissioner Gore said, there's no such thing as a Batman. And later on, we take down Killer Croc. Harvey Bullock's like, no such thing as a Batman, eh? You remember that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's great. You know what I love about Arkham games? Sometimes I like to listen on the goons' conversations. Like in very early on in Arkham Origins, if you listen to them, they think some of them think Batman's a vampire.
Yo, I love those like conversations when one guy's like, "Yo, I was there for Asylum and City, and I've never fought Batman," or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, "Oh, you're gonna fight me now."
Yeah. You're gonna fight me now. That's funny. You're gonna or like I was watching Justice League War. Based on the New 52 when the Justice League got together to take down Darkseid, right? Green Lantern was talking to Batman. They're down the sewers. Green Lantern's like, you don't have you have Superfly? Wait, you have Superfly? Do you suck blood? Wait, you're not a vampire? Don't tell me you're just a guy dressed in a suit. And Batman gives him a smirk. You seen that?
Yeah, like Batman, it's like people like just have all the random questions about Batman, like
and what happened was Batman goes up close to him. I remember that he goes up close to him, and he's like, all of a sudden, Hal Jordan goes back to his. All of a sudden, he's not a Green Lantern anymore, and Hal Jordan and Batman has his ring. He just took his ring. It's like, and Hal was like, "How did you do that? Easy. You weren't concentrating." It's like, you'll pay for that. Oh my god.
Oh my, I can only just imagine, like, how we were like toying with the idea of like Batman being in the MCU. It's like all the ways he can just like freak out all those characters with like with those rumors about him.
Yeah, it'd be like, I, in MCU, if he was the MCU, Ultron would never happen. He would make sure to prepare for Thanos, because if he was in that MCU, the invasion, when Loki brought all those aliens in the Avengers movie, Batman would make sure stuff like that would never happen again.
He would prevent Mysterio's video from coming out. We wouldn't get No Way Home if it wasn't for Batman.
Oh yeah, he would have done
Like,
a lot. He would have done a lot of things that in the MCU that those heroes. I mean, Iron Man should have been the one preparing for outside threats from outer space. That's Iron Man. That should have been Iron Man.
yeah, it's like Batman would have been like, yeah, no video coming out. Like as far as like as like a contingency plan against Thanos, he'd be like, yeah, no, we're not taking, yeah, no, Strange, we're doing things my way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They would hate Batman, and they would respect them. Like,
Yeah, they would hate how Batman would one up them all the time.
or he's not afraid to talk back to them. I personally think he would feel more at home with the Avengers because a lot of the Avengers have heroes that don't have powers.
Yeah, also like the emotional baggage that some of them carry.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, you think about it, they do have their history. The
Like,
history, yeah, it's very almost just traumatic as Batman's. Some of them.
like the Tower of Babel when like Batman's contingency plans like
Oh, fuck.
happen and it's like half the league is like against him like for it. Like
Yeah, but
basically
how?
like he doesn't like how like he feels like they think they're gods, like they're better than everyone, where like the Avengers aren't like gods. I mean, yeah, Thor's a god, but like Thor's like more human like than like some of like the
You
actual
still see
gods
them
of
as threats,
DC.
though. Possibly. I mean,
Yeah, but yeah, true, but like I feel like at the same time Thor would probably be more approachable than some of the heroes in the DC universe.
I think Batman wins stand Thor. Because
Yeah, but
Thor
like I
enjoys battle. Batman likes to
yeah.
fight, but he doesn't smile about it though. Like Thor does. Batman be like Batman be like a Thor. You take this seriously. Take this seriously.
But I will say one villain not to expect in the Batman 2 and 3, and I say this, sorry Snyder fans, don't expect Deathstroke.
No, I don't expect Deathstroke either.
Because like they have it in their mind, and this is the one thing that I think Arkham Origins did that like I will not forgive them for. It's the fact that they basically told everyone that Deathstroke is a Batman villain.
Arkham Origins, I personally think they should not put Deathstroke in Arkham Origins because Deathstroke was really watered down in that game.
I mean, it was a fun fight scene, but it was like,
Yeah, but a veteran Deathstroke should be able to beat a 2 year in Batman. But I understand it's a video game, you actually have to win to progress the story. You know?
yeah, but it's like I feel like if he was like he could have been one of the main villains of the game, and they kind of just like,
That's the Grace of Right Tiger. What the hell, Caden? So what the fuck? I'm sorry. I was in the group chat and Caden put that's the Grace of Right Tiger.
oh my, oh yeah, I think I see.
Oh my god.
Oh my,
I don't want Andrew Kajik's Batgirl. Sorry.
yo, honestly, like I'm seeing a lot of people saying Leslie Grace should go to Marvel. Yo, like one thing says she should be White Tiger. One thing says she should play Black Cat.
White Tiger. Oh yeah, White Tiger. Oh yeah. They say that about every actor and actress. Go to Marvel. Go to Marvel.
Go to Marvel. Yo, that'd be like the, well, here's the thing. Like, aren't the Batgirl directors like in charge of Miss Marvel?
Yep.
So like they're already at Marvel. In fact, like they might stick around at Marvel.
There's some actors who don't want to do Marvel because they said Well, well, it helps with the box office, and Marvel did kind of like No Way Home was really the first movie that probably saved the theaters. That the Marvel movies are not exactly like they're blockbusters, but they're not exactly groundbreaking movies. They're popular, but not groundbreaking movies. And some actors actually just care about storytelling more than popcorn flicks.
Yeah. It's like really like the ones that are going to be making the most money right now, the ones that people see as the big event films like No Way
Mm.
Home and Multiverse of Madness. Because that almost made $1 billion. It only made 900 million, but it still made a lot of money.
I think Multiverse of Madness was a little overrated. I think what got them that money was just seeing the cameos of the Illuminati.
Yeah, I think ultimately like hype like
Yeah, it was
also plays a
hyped.
role.
It was hyped. As somebody that Thor, Love and Thunder did not have the hype like Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I think Wakanda Forever is going to have the hype.
Oh yeah, Wakanda Forever definitely is gonna have the hype because while the trailer was excellent and that trailer was excellent, the music and how they're honoring Chadwick and T'Challa, but the intrigue, the thing what that movie is gonna have, who's gonna be Black Panther? That's gonna get people interested in the movie.
There's the and this is the sad thing, but we've seen it before with The Dark Knight and Furious 7. The intrigue of what's going to happen like with or without like the dead actor. In this case, Chadwick Boseman's not going to be in the movie. There's going to be curiosity. People are going to be like,
I'm telling
okay,
you,
how are they going to do this?
I think it's gonna be a female, and the Phantom Menace is gonna go nuts.
Oh my! I would just love to see. Listen, they're showing their true colors more and more. So you know what?
Well,
Like, let
yeah.
them slip out.
I mean, I did see that clip of Mr. Kino. that was
Like,
okay, Blanville. I know. But that was bad. I can't believe they canceled Batgirl a day after the director's wedding.
no, the thing that's so mind-boggling is they do this after Marvel announced a ton load of projects and still have more projects to announce at D23. And for goodness sakes, like Sony hasn't even announced if there's going to be
I
a
mean,
fourth Tom Holland Spider-Man
there's
movie. So it's like
there's
they got all this stuff coming up, and they're canceling, and DC's canceling stuff.
there's so much Marvel burnout right now. Some people who love Marvel are getting burnt out with Marvel.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there's only certain stuff that I'm gonna be like excited, but yet I'm still gonna see it anyways.
Yeah, yeah. Like you kind of have to, right? Like, because now we know there's all lead to Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty. It basically makes you have to watch every Marvel film from Phase 4 from the start, or TV show from the start of Phase 4, and then Phase 5, and like already Phase 6. I mean, they already have stuff for Phase 6. This, I bet you they have stuff for. I bet you they're gonna go up to Phase 7. Yeah, they probably have Phase 7 stuff in the works. Phase 8, Phase 9.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
just ended at 9. Ended at 9 phases.
yeah, that'd be perfect. Just have like 3 like main phases.
And they'll still have the Marvel Studios, right? And they can do something. I don't know, a new MCU.
Yeah,
New stories.
like they can do like new stories like in the future because like these actors like they ain't getting any younger.
And some of them want to leave.
Some eventually like even the ones that want to stay, it's like how many more stories can you tell even with the ones that want to stay?
Yeah, because some of the actors and actresses, while they're signing a contract with Disney or Marvel, they have to pass up other projects because not knowing what their future has in store with Marvel Studios. It's
I mean, look at like Robert Downey Jr.
you have to be very committed.
Like Robert Downey Jr. only had like what, like 2 or 3 like movies like during his like time as Iron Man that wasn't Iron Man, and 2 of those movies were Sherlock Holmes.
He had the first Iron Man movie had Tropic Thunder that came out a year after, Sherlock Holmes, the 2 Sherlock Holmes in the Judge movie, basically.
Yeah, so it's like
in Marvel.
So like he had like 4 like movies, and like most of those were like before the Avengers came out.
And yeah, because Tropic Thunder, when he did Tropic Thunder, Iron Man was not, because Marvel Studios did not exist, because Disney did not own Marvel at the time. I believe they did not own Marvel. Yeah.
like there's like a commitment so there's like the commitment thing again. How many more stories can you tell? Like for example, like Chris Hemsworth, I think came out and said like he will play Thor as long as Marvel will have him. But here's the thing, like after 4 films and after how the last one like turned out, it's like how many more stories can you really tell with Thor?
The thing is, name me another good Chris Hemsworth movie that's not Thor.
Like how many more stories can you honestly tell with Thor in the MCU?
No,
That's kind of
don't.
why like I'm excited for the future of the Batman, because I feel like you can tell so many different stories with this iteration of Batman.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
I feel like the MCU, there's a limit to how many stories you can tell with these characters.
Yeah, not everybody, not especially. Yeah, exactly. You could tell, like, Chris Evans was done, Robert Downey Jr. was done. I mean, like, look, this is before Marvel. Well, actually, the MCU. What about Hugh Jackman? He was basically Logan for 17 years, almost 2 decades,
But
right?
again, because like that's limited to the X-Men universe, you had so many stories you can tell with Wolverine for those 17 years, whether it's his solo films
I, th-
or X-Men team up films. Where like
I
in the MCU, there's so many heroes and so many crossovers. It's like the stories are limited because everything has to fit in the proper, like in the big scheme of things.
yeah, I think Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. had enough, and they got burned out by playing same character.
Where like I feel like with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, it was like they had so many different stories they can tell, and I felt like they were always doing something new with the character, even when he was in an X-Men film.
Oh yeah, hey
And
Arkham.
that's why like he lasted so long.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he's been in some good X-Men films and some bad X-Men films.
But again, it felt like there was always something different that he was doing with those films.
Yeah. What's
Hey
up, Arkham?
Arkham.
Hey,
I just saw you on KDOS show.
yeah,
Here.
like this from my perspective. I know not a lot of people are happy with DC's, but like at the end of the day, like I think it's the best thing them to just them they're gonna reboot anyway. So like because like I do agree with people that DCEU is a mess, DC Extended Universe, and I think it's the best thing that he is rebooting.
Mm-hmm.
Because like let's be truthful, it is a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess. I think. Okay, somebody said on Max's channel. Somebody I know who has sources, stuff.
Yeah.
Said I think one of the reasons what happened to the Batgirl and what's happening in DCU is all because of Ezra Miller screwing everything up with his
Really?
antics. Or because they have planned because the Flash was going to like basically reboot the DCU, but with now they can't basically. I think Ezra Miller put hey Blind Umbrella say, all right, that's good. Hey Blind,
Oh,
Blind
like
Umbrella.
Yeah, what's up?
money wise?
Mm-hmm.
Like you mean money
And
wise?
storytelling wise, Ezra Miller screwed everything up.
Like he's costing them a lot of money or something like that.
No, he's costing them like the no way he's costing them, but the way it's costing them the direction of DCU, like what films go in order and stuff like that, with relatively to the Aquaman and the Flash and Batgirl.
Yeah, because like they had to add Affleck to Aquaman 2 because now Aquaman 2 is taking place like after the Flash, but now there's rumors that it might like come out now in December 2023.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So like I'm just so confused.
I feel like that probably means Michael Keaton is not going to be the main Batman.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean,
it's gonna be Ben again.
I don't think it's going to be Ben either.
I think it's gonna be someone new.
Oh, if it's Robert Pattinson, I'm pissed off.
I think it's going to be Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
I think that's the big thing.
I wouldn't be shocked if they incorporate the Matt Reeves universe into this, and I think that's gonna.
They might lose Matt Reeves. I really think that he's going to push as hard as he can to make Robert Pattinson the main Batman.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
Because
If they
right
want,
now I think that's like the biggest problem with the DCEU is that they have the Batman and the Joker, and those two movies are way more successful, whether it's
Mhm.
box office or reception compared to the rest of the DCEU.
Yeah, and Peacemaker got a good reception overall, but Peacemaker we don't know. That could be on the chopping block season 2. Even
I
though
think
James Gunn
that's
said it's
also.
safe.
I think
Yeah,
they're going to do
that's-
season 2, but yeah, it's going to get chopped.
Yeah, they did confirm Doom Patrol is ending with season 4. They
Mhm.
just confirmed that today, and I don't know, man, because Discovery wants to go non-scripted.
I don't know what that means.
It means
It means that they
reality-based.
want to, yeah, like what they're already doing, right, with like the TLC and the Discovery,
They want to kill
documentary.
it.
I don't think they're going to kill it. I think that they want to focus. If they're going to put out shows, that the shows have to be cheap and high quality, which is pretty hard. Like nobody's
Yeah, you
really
can't do
making
that. You
that.
can't do that with Game of Thrones stuff, though. Like,
Well,
Game
they're
of Thrones
keeping
comes-
HBO.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, HBO.
that was
Yeah,
part of the rumor.
it's gonna be merged in. Like, it's gonna be like HBO is gonna be merged into whatever it's called, Discovery Plus or
Discovery Plus, I think it's
Yeah.
called, right?
like
Yeah.
whatever they're gonna because they're like when something's merged, they usually rename something. So
Yeah.
probably Discovery HBO or whatever. But like
It might just be Discovery Plus, though.
I think that's the rumors. Discovery Plus.
Yeah,
We'll
because
definitely know tomorrow.
Because I think a lot of Americans don't realize that HBO Max doesn't. It's not that big. Like we don't
No.
even have it here in Canada. It's not
We
in the
have
UK.
Crave.
Yeah, we have Crave, which is like mixed. So I have a feeling because I'm pretty sure Discovery Plus is here. So they're probably going to be like, get rid of Crave. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I get Crave for free.
Oh, really? Damn. It's expensive though. It's like
I
$25.
know. I live in
I
the
paid
condo.
for
It
it.
comes with- I live in the condo. It comes with the condo fees.
Oh, okay. That's lucky.
because I
Yeah.
know Thursday they're gonna and like they're gonna share what the new what they're get like with their streaming service, like what is it gonna be called or what's got like the news and
Mm.
everything like that. I know it's a private event, so we probably can't rewatch it. It would just be news like what's it gonna be called, what content's gonna be on there. They're also gonna be talking about the future of DC and everything like that.
Mhm.
Because did you notice on the DC website, you know it's usually called DC Comics.
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that's redundant because DC is short for Detective Comics, but they
Yeah.
just but they got rid of that. It's just called DC because I think it should always been called DC because it's called shorthand for Detective Comics, and they added the other comics for no reason.
You know why?
Mm.
Because Batman's Detective Comics.
Yeah.
That's what they added the
That's
comics
not a reason
for.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem them just calling it DC because I just call it DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody just calls it DC.
Yeah, like no one really calls it DC Comics. People
I
just
call
call
Washington DC. No, I'm joking.
people just call it DC in general.
Yeah, they don't know. We don't call it Detective Comics. We call it DC. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like
Or-
I just saw the like because you had DC like on the website it was called DC and it had the comics
Mhm.
on the side. I always thought everyone thought it was redundant because like it's shortened for Detective Comics. So why do you have to call it comics after that?
Mhm.
I do personally think Zaslav wants to start like Superman again, his own Superman, probably the new actor. Wonder Woman, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be Gal.
Yeah, Wonder Woman and
Wonder
Aquaman is going to be hard.
Yeah.
I have a feeling like Wonder Woman 3 could be on the chopping block.
I could see that.
Everything in the DC, like I would say DCEU, like DC Extended Universe, is on the chopping block because he's probably gonna he's gonna reboot it. I think it's gonna be full reboot. Him starting over. He's gonna start over and Like maybe like he'll probably start with Superman first because he says Superman's a priority. So Superman would probably be the first
Mhm.
movie.
Well,
Wow.
I don't know if
And
you
the
guys
Batman,
just
too.
saw. There's an article came out from like the Rolling Stone. Like apparently
yeah.
a documentary, like something about like using footage from one of the Justice League films. Apparently, Warner Brothers said they prefer using the 2017 version. Like, and now
course.
people are freaking out on Twitter.
Of course.
Yeah, everybody's gonna freak
And
out.
it's ironic because yesterday a lot of people in the Snyder fandom were saying, "Oh, maybe this means Snyderverse is going to get restored." No,
It's not.
it's not. Listen. If they're gonna cut a cheap movie like Batgirl, they ain't gonna greenlight expensive movies like that.
Well, it
So
wasn't
let me
even
ask
that Batgirl was cheap. It was, I think the reason why, I mean, they say it in the article, but like,
Yeah.
if they were to put it out, I think it would have been like an okay movie, but it would have, like, they care about the brand. They want to preserve the brand. It's kind of like what happened with Disney and Fox, where they were like trying to preserve the X-Men brand. So they try to like remove it off of any movie that was, like Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. So I think that's what they're trying to do. They're like,
They should
okay,
never.
what movies are like guaranteed to get like a really good reception and do good box office, so then people have that thought of, oh, what's DC going to do next, because their movies right now are so good, right?
And with Batgirl, like even though it had some positive perception, it like a lot of people when they came out like that, they said it kind of looked very cheap, like because David Zaslav wants things theatrical, going in theaters, like and like since it was on HBO, I think he wanted to put it in theaters. That's my theory.
Yeah.
He probably
Well, they say that in the article.
and since he probably wanted that, I think if you watch it in theaters, I think it's gonna be very cheap looking. Like people say, like it might look like a CW TV show.
Yeah. If that's the case, if it does look like a CW show, it doesn't really matter the quality. Like, I think people will just point it out, like, oh shit, this doesn't look like Shazam or Aquaman, like in terms of like VFX and the cinematography, because that's where you'll see if something is cheap or not. It doesn't.
I mean, you're right. I mean, the Batman had a little bit of bigger budget than, well, originally had 100 million, the Batman, right? But it went to 200 million because of COVID and stuff. And the the Batman looked great without VFX.
Yeah, you couldn't tell what is VFX in the movie.
Yeah,
a lot of it was practical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a mix, like stuff like the rain.
And look at Thor. Look at Love and Thunder. The VFX was terrible.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, it was
like really, really bad.
Oh my god!
Remember the Joker's Hamil's son, right? That's the joke.
But you know why that's the case, though, right?
What?
You know why that's the case? Because Taika Waititi is not really a VFX director compared to someone like. Yeah, he's not really working a lot with VFX compared to Matt Reeves, who's all his movies, except for I think Let Me In, those are all VFX heavy.
Didn't Matt Reeves?
Yeah, because the Planet Apes had to be very VFX heavy.
Yeah.
Wasn't there new technology? I know Matt Reeves used like the Mandalorian technology on.
Yes, same. It's the same technology as Thor, and you could just tell the difference because
I think.
Yeah. Go. Sorry.
I think one of the reasons that Marvel right now has problems with VFX is because they have so many projects, so they're overworking the VFX studios. Like they're getting tired. They're working more hours than a normal movie would be, like 60 hours a week, which is ridiculous. They have to work. Yeah. They're always on schedule, right? Because there's always like a Marvel project almost every 2 months or something, whether it's a movie or a TV show. So they're overworking all these VFX studios, and that's why they're not getting the best quality. I always say, I talked to my cousin about this. If you have a tired working environment, you're not going to get best quality.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
That's why I think the VFX is suffering, because in the Marvel, because of the people are tired and they're always in a rush because Marvel has a planned schedule. Look, they already have release dates for 2 years or 2 or 3 years down the road. Like, it's ridiculous.
I'm making a guarantee right now. Secret Wars is not going to come out in 2025. It's going to get delayed to 2026.
I agree. I 100% agree. I think Secret Wars is going to be 2026 too. Because I think Batman 2 is going to be 2025 later, and Batman 2 is going to beat out Kang Dynasty. No, I doubt it. But I do think the Batman 2 will make $1 billion in 2025, though.
No, I think the Batman 2 will be a better movie than Kang Dynasty.
Probably.
Oh, no doubt.
I
No
hope
doubt.
in the second movie, I want Mr. Freeze. Like, it's not just because of character, but I think the Mr. Freeze character is awesome, and also I think the live action interpretation of Mr. Freeze does need redemption, because the last movie that we've seen him, Mr. Freeze, is in Batman Robin, and I think bringing him back in live action, I think Matt Reeves would do the character justice.
I think make him a sympathetic villain. I don't know if Blind Billy heard earlier. My idea is have the Quarter Owls appear, and they're basically blackmailing Mr. Freeze because of his wife, and doing their bidding, taking out people, taking out wealthy people that are in Gotham, so they can continue with their influence in Gotham, and have some people that are Quarter Owls try to recruit Bruce Wayne into the court or something like that.
Well, I still think that the Quarter Owls, the story is so integral to Bruce and Dick's relationship that I feel like that you should introduce Robin in that, because it makes sense.
Agree.
Even if he's not, it doesn't matter if he's Nightwing or not, like in the comic. But the fact that the story is so like you can do a lot of stuff and tweak it where it's like, oh, Robin is very in a similar place to where Bruce was in the first movie, where he's like, oh, I'm vengeance, and Bruce kind of like reins him in.
Remember, a lot of people thought the Mayor's kid was gonna be like the Robin. Some people thought, oh, he's gonna take that kid and become Robin. Remember that?
That's ridiculous.
Stupid.
I do think they'll do time jump a little bit. Like,
yeah, of course.
Like, probably if they're gonna do Robin, like introduce Robin, maybe I don't know, 2 or 3 years.
Oh,
2 or 3 years time jump.
Have you guys read the prequel?
Yeah, something
to
like
the
that.
Batman, the prequel graphic novel to the Batman.
Oh yeah, I got the graphic novel.
Oh, I didn't. I never got a chance to read it.
No.
I haven't either, but I heard I basically read a wiki on it. It's very interesting, man. Like,
yeah, like I know I've read it and stuff like that with the graphic.
This is not the first time he encountered Edward Nygma.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and you know the serum that he uses, like that's like adrenaline, and
yeah,
and in the graphic novel he learns how to use chemicals and like mixtures and stuff like that.
Does it confirm that it's venom?
It's not venom.
It's not venom.
Okay.
It's adrenaline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the graphic novel, you know, a lot of people say Alfred trained him. The comic, which is true, Alfred did train him, but he also did learn it on. He also did learn because he did travel aboard. He went to different universities, colleges, like he does in the comics, to learn different kind of programs, courses, like for obviously because to learn criminology, forensic science, all of that. But he did learn other martial arts and while he was away, and then it basically was true to his origins, how he became Batman, basically. So that's what I liked, and that's what I like about this Batman. Like, he's in the sequel, he's obviously become more out. I want to say outgoing, but it's gonna be more in the public eye as Bruce Wayne because he has to be. Because after a flood, Batman cannot fix the city from a flood.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are saying, oh, they're gonna do No Man's Land, but to be honest, I kind of hope they don't.
Yeah.
I don't mind the No Man's Land kind of thing, but like I'm fine with the comic and everything with that. But like, there's a lot of other stories that you could do in this Batman universe. You can maybe if they do introduce Bane, maybe they can do like the Nightfall story. The Nightfall story, they could do that. You have like I hope they do core vowels. Like if they do core vowels, I do want to see Scarecrow. Like I think Matt Reeves. I think Matt Reeves would make an amazing scary Scarecrow. Like I think like
I would like to see him too. I would like to see him. Nobody has done this. No movie adaptation has done this with the Batman. The closest we got to Joe Chill was Batman Begins. But I would like to see Matt Reeves have Bruce Wayne finally confront his parents' murder and see how he reacts.
Like
Mhm.
I think that'd be interesting. Like that. I think we need to see that in film.
Mhm.
like the Three Jokers. I remember the Three Jokers.
Don't do Three Jokers, please. Don't do Three Jokers.
Yeah.
No.
Anything that's Jeff Johns and Batman, like besides the Earth One inspiration, I really don't want.
Remember when
I'm
everyone
not
thought
talking about like the Three Jokers thing. I'm
I
just saying
know.
like he confronted like in the Three Jokers story. I love the
Mhm.
Three Jokers. I think it was amazing. Like
I just don't think it works in this.
I think anything that is Paul Dini, just go and look at that. Like I think that
Yeah.
that is where like I have no clue why writers continuously avoid Paul Dini stuff when he's literally like the best Batman writer. Like I can't think of anybody else. Like maybe obviously a couple, but I think Paul Dini has become the definitive one.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, George?
remember when like people thought the Joker sequel was gonna be based off the Three Jokers, and now it's a musical?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be Joaquin Phoenix.
Apparently, like Warner Brothers is actually gonna still go forward with that film. It got a release date.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It made $1 billion, right? So why
Yeah.
react something that
yeah.
the previous film made $1 billion? Like I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
But I really think they're gonna snatch those movies away from Todd Phillips and Matt Reeves, because I really think like you have to merge them somehow.
Well,
You have to.
Hollywood is not very happy right now with Zaslav.
I know, and I could see him being like, we have to merge these two,
Mm-hmm.
like without question. I don't know how, but it's either the Joker will end, but and it's whatever you could do, move on. But like his whole thing is to streamline the whole thing. That's why he got rid of CW, and he's getting rid of like anything that is not
Profitable.
like it's DCU related. I mean, like people aren't realizing there's like talks that they canceled, like axed everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Green Lantern got axed. People are saying Zatanna got axed, which is crazy because people were just talking about the casting for that. Anything that J.J. Abrams was working on for Justice League Dark probably is in the trash. I'm gonna guess.
Is that Tannis axe? Most likely Justice League Darkest axe.
I wouldn't be surprised if that Superman. I forget his name. The Black Superman. Yeah, that. Not the the Michael B. Jordan one too. I think is going to get axed.
There might be both axed.
Stack Shock is probably get axed as well.
Yeah, I think Static Shot too, which is sad.
Oh, that'd be disappointing.
Look, some people think the Flash is axed. I'm telling you, the Flash is not going to be axed.
No, there's no way. They can't do that. I mean, it seems like every I honestly think they couldn't do it. If they might have thought about it, but I think they're like, we can't do it. It's just too expensive.
The DCU actually hinges on the Flash.
Possibly,
I don't even think that it hinges. I think they care about the money. They're like, I don't care if it's connected or not. We're rebooting this shit.
Yeah,
I do think like probably at the end of Flash, it's gonna be like a full-on reboot and everything with that.
So a lot of people think if you do a reboot, you start with Superman, right? Which I agree with. Who do you do next, Batman or Wonder Woman?
You could do either or.
Well, Batman's already rebooted. They're keeping they're going to keep. That's what I'm saying. The Batman is going to be kept.
I wonder how that Batman will react with a Superman. Because Superman always Superman. I know
technically in the DCEU, it's not rebooted.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Robert Parrish.
But I think they'll like probably do like maybe they'll do I think they're gonna do Batman. Like I don't know how they're gonna what kind of story they're gonna do in the Batman in the new DCEU. But it's gonna be either probably maybe Wonder Woman goes second, then Batman goes third.
I mean, yeah. To me, this is like I'm doing how I will reboot stream, the DCU stream on Saturday. But to me, I would start with the three. Start with the three heroes, the main DC heroes: Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman.
Yeah.
Build them up solo films or something. Well, Batman, if you want to do Robert Parrish's Batman, he already has the solo stuff. But have him other 3 solo films. Have a Trinity movie. Maybe introduce Supergirl or whatever. But the villain, if you want villain to be Brainiac or something, and then introduce solo movies for the other heroes like Green Lantern, The Flash, Martian Manhunter, whatever, and then build up to the first Justice League movie that way. And you know what? Instead of Brainiac being the training movie, maybe Brainiac could be the first Justice League movie villain.
Yeah.
I'll be fine with that.
Like do like for Batman and Superman, like a true world's finest movie, like
Well,
instead of like dark gritty BVS, like do like a world's finest movie where they're they have conflicting like views, but like they're working together.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see that.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no,
still believe that Robert Pattinson is not going to get rebooted.
No,
Like
like
they put they talked way too much about the Batman for them to be like, okay, we're not going to do the sequel and we're not going to connect it to anything.
there's gonna be a lot more backlash if they cancel the Batman like franchise like than there was for Batgirl. Like if like they thought things for like Batgirl so far have been rough, like canceling the Batman would definitely be really bad look for them.
Yeah.
Well, it would be a bad look, but then they also have to start again with another Batman, and then people are going to be like, again?
But it's like
Uh,
you look at like a successful film like the Batman. It's like here's the thing: like people are probably already going to be hesitant to work for Warner Brothers after this. More people are going to turn away
Definitely.
from Warner Brothers, especially with a respectful director like Matt Reeves getting like his franchise like canceled, as well as like
They're
an
going to
actor
yeet it for him, man. They're going to take it
yeah.
from him.
and an actor who's gotten like a lot of respect like the last few years, and Robert Pattinson. Like, are you
Yeah,
kidding?
he's
Like they're not gonna like.
Twilight Boy.
Yo, like no,
I mean,
like
if you read the quotes, if you read the quotes, I don't know who said this, but this is a crazy quote because they're like, yeah, we're not making DC into a hobby anymore. So they mean business. Like they mean like we're going to do what Marvel's been doing and we're going to streamline it and we're not going to be doing favors for people. And that's why I believe that Robert Pattinson's Batman, like sure it's Matt Reeves' own thing, but they'll just yank it from him because it's the same thing with the Snyder situation. Like Matt Reeves doesn't own Batman. They could just take it from him. They got the template. You get the people who made that film. They get the look of it, right? And you get a screenwriter, and then you just continue. And I honestly don't think Robert Pattinson's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to do it if Matt Reeves is not going to do it. Like I think he'll be like, well, this is my career now. Like I really think they're going to play that game where it's just like we're trying to be exactly like Marvel. Like they say it. He said that. He's like, how come we're not like Marvel? And it's true. DC is not like Marvel, which is crazy.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go, bros. I'm gonna reset my computer. Continue talking, all right?
Mm.
I'll be back. Don't worry. I know I control the stream, but I'll be back.
I just saw something on
Yeah, I
Twitter.
just gotta grab something real quick myself.
It's true. Give me a second. No, I saw something on Twitter about Gotham Night Show. I think it got canceled.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I totally agree. Like he's trying to streamline and stuff like that. Like I think Matt Reeves will be able to finish his trilogy and everything like that.
Hopefully.
Like he'll do that. But you're probably gonna have Robert Pattinson in as the main Batman, the new DCU, whatever they call it. Like I do agree with that. Like because I don't think people want to reboot and everything like that. Like
Yeah, because if you reboot him again,
I don't think they'll do if they're because like if they're gonna do that they would also have to do like I think a World's Finest or something like that having like or like you have Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman meeting for the first time. So you'll have Robert Pattinson meeting Superman for the first time in the DC extended universe. You'll still, I think they will copy like the set of like Gotham from the Batman universe. I think
Mhm.
it'll still look like that, but I think like maybe I don't know, fourth or fifth movie they'll probably do an introduction of like the world's finest, and they're meeting for the first time.
Mhm.
I don't think because I want it like if they're gonna start like Superman, then you have Batman, then you have Wonder Woman. Like I want a slowly build up to them meeting each other. I don't want it to be the third movie. Like it doesn't have to be the third movie.
Yeah, because I know it just looked like Batman versus Superman all over again.
Yeah, like it could be like the fifth movie. Like I think you. This is what I think. You could do Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I don't know. Maybe you could because I know Green Lantern's part of Justice League. You could do Green Lantern movie. You can do. I don't want a cyborg movie. I'm sorry. Like
No, yeah.
I hate the idea of cyborg as in the Justice League.
Yeah, it's put him on the Teen Titans. I think too they've wasted way too much time making a Teen Titans movie. Like I feel like the Teen Titans brand has just like eroded. Like I personally don't care for Titans at all. I don't really like it. And then Teen Titans Go has like again killed what people remember of that great show, right? Even though it's not even the same.
Did you see what was it? Zack Snyder's gonna have appearance in Teen Titans.
Yeah, I did
Oh
see it.
my-
I mean, the show's comedic, like they're meta, but it's not. It shits on the legacy of the original show. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, you have this is what I want. I want you have Superman, Batman, The Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter.
mm,
I like Martian Manhunter. I think he's a cool character. I think he can be like this. Like I don't know how many members. One.
I think they should throw Hawk Girl in there too.
Yeah, Hawk Girl. Like I would be fine with that. Like I would be fine with anyone. Just don't put Cyborg in there. I'm sorry, I do not like that.
Oh my goodness.
Like I as a DC fan, like I read New 52. I hated the idea. Like I'm happy that he's no longer part of the Justice League comic book. I just don't like. I don't understand why people like it. Like I
would
do
make
not-
Cyborg like in charge of a Teen Titans movie. Like have him like.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Just not part of the Justice League. I just don't understand why people like him being part of the Justice League. I just think it's.
I've never been a big fan of like having Cyborg in the Justice League. Like to me, I've always liked having either, let's see, like Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and like Hawkgirl, like being that other member.
Yeah, like I just don't like. I just don't like the like. If when they do build up this, what
Michael Dipnicki. His nerd is nerd gats. Which you study with?
the hell is that?
That was me.
I thought it was me because I had Twitter open.
No, I was trying to like check something and like something just like an ad like popped up.
Okay.
Yeah, he adds. But like, what if if you know when you have the event when MCU did you have MCU big events. What event coming from this new DCU or a story that you want to be introduced?
A Final Crisis.
Um,
Dark. And
I think that's like a big jump.
I know.
Yeah, that's what I think they were trying to do.
That has to be Endgame. Final Crisis is Endgame. But
here's the thing,
yeah.
I think that's what DC was trying to do, like after the Flash, like according to the rumors. So like,
Yeah.
No, they
I
were
think
trying
those
to do
plans are
Crisis
scrapped.
on Infinite Earths.
Because I want-
well, they were
Batman-
gonna do a
I-
crisis story. There's so many
I want-
crisis stories. They were gonna do one of them.
People are gonna be pissed off at me, but I want Batman to have his Tony Stark moment. He shoots Darkseid with the radiation gun, gets shot by the Omega Beam. Instead of him going back in time,
Well,
he dies saving the world.
well, I think. Hold on. Wait. I think before you do that, I think everybody wants to see him dodge the Omega Beam because that was like pretty fucking crazy when he did that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
That was like the
that's
most
very
iconic
true.
thing he's done.
He
Yeah.
done
Say it again?
He's only mortal. He's only mortal to do it.
Yeah, he's the only mortal to do it. It's just insane. Like, so you would have to establish that, because that I don't even think Snyder was going to do that, to be honest.
Because I'm smarter, Snyder. Because I would have if Batman defeats Darkseid by saving the world, but also dies in the process. I want that iconic picture of Superman picking up his dead body.
Damn, that'd be crazy.
Yes.
I would do that. I like big moments like that. Like move movies like that.
That would be like the snap moment, to be honest.
Yeah, that's basically Iron Man's moment, right? The
Yeah.
equivalent of that. And like the whole world, to find out how the whole world finds out who Batman is at the end is Bruce Wayne or something. I don't know. They don't have to, but and I don't even have the villains fight on the side of Justice League. Some of the villains, for example, like the Rogues. I would have Captain Cold help out. Captain Cold and some of the Rogues help out the heroes take down Darkseid. Because the Rogues, well, they're criminals, but they're honorable, right? They don't care about taking over. They just want money and they live a good life. I would even have some of the villains help out the Justice League, take down Darkseid. Because I want Darkseid to have his whole army out with the whole world. Because in Endgame, they're basically at the Avengers compound, right? They're all at the Avengers compound, right? The whole war is basically at the Avengers compound. But if I had to do it, armies out over the whole world and Central City, Metropolis, Gotham, and whether in France, Paris, and just have heroes and villains from those places take down Darkseid's army. That's what I would do. But that's not me. That's me, but that's not. I don't think that's what Warner Brothers, or I don't even think Disney would do something like that.
The one thing I don't understand, I understand these things are like the DC, a lot of DC EU projects are getting canceled. Like you got Batgirl, you probably get like Stack Shock, Supergirl movie, but it's not like they're not going to make another it's not like they're not gonna make another introduce the character ever again. Like people are acting like the character's dead because the movie's not coming out. That's not true. Like I just don't understand people's philosophy because they cancel a show. That doesn't mean it's the end for the character in the new DCEU. He'd probably get introduced to the character later down the road.
But you know what bothers me is like there's all these people on Twitter who were all saying that DC is dead way before this, and now they're like, oh my god, everything's ruined and blah blah blah, and it's like, hold on a minute, you guys were literally just shitting on everything. Yeah, and so it's like this was inevitable, right? I really think so, and he has yet to do anything that says, oh, this is gonna be a bad idea. Like wait until we see his Greenlight movies, right? Then we could be like, okay, yeah, he fucking killed DC, right? Like,
yeah.
So I really don't know why people were freaking out like that.
Because they only care about the films. Because Brian Brill, you told me this. DC's been killing it in other stuff, like the comics, animation, like even the.
I would say DC comics right now are better than Marvel. I don't know why people are like, oh no, Marvel's fucking good. I'm like, Marvel has like 3 writers, and once they're gone, it's garbage.
MCU bias.
Yeah, it's like
I think it's MCU bias.
Didn't Marvel go bankrupt in the 90s?
Yeah,
almost. Yeah.
I mean, DC almost did too. Marvel almost bought DC.
Image Comics almost took over as the most popular comic book company over DC and Marvel at the time. Spawn was legitimately almost as popular as Batman and Spider-Man in the 90s.
Yeah.
I remember the 90s, like Marvel's answer to like Doomsday and like Nightfall was to give Spider-Man the Clone Saga, which was confusing as hell.
Yeah, the Clone Saga was a fucking mess.
Marvel
that was a nightmare.
Marvel
I
lost
tell you,
one
if the MCU ever did the Clone Saga, I would actually.
You know what almost bankrupt
I would not watch that.
You know what?
I would boycott that.
Guys, you know what? Well, Marvel almost did get bankrupt in the '90s because they lost a lot of good writers
Yeah.
forming Image Comics.
That and they were trying to bank on the whole comics, the resale value, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so they started doing all this crap with covers and it was all this gimmick. And eventually people are like, "Oh, you're not even focusing on the story, right?"
have you noticed
Yeah, they're just doing covers and stuff.
Have you
like that.
noticed Todd McFarlane hasn't done any crossovers with Marvel, but he's done with other companies like DC. Has done crossovers. Batman.
Yeah.
In fact, he's doing another crossover.
Oh, you're
with Batman.
having a Batman and Spawn
Yeah.
comic that's coming down in December.
I mean, I would love to see Spawn in the Marvel universe, but I think every Marvel hero would hate Spawn because.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, to be fair, Todd McFarlane sold one of his characters to Marvel.
Yeah.
He sold Angela. Yeah.
But wasn't his character though? Apparently, there was something when the original creator had the rights to it, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Angela. Yeah, Thor's sister, right? Can you
Yeah.
imagine if Angela in the MCU before Spawn has a movie?
Oh
or
God.
something?
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, because I think Guardians 3 is gonna be the end for some characters, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Guardians 4. They're gonna have new Guardians, and I wouldn't be surprised if Angela's one of them. But
they have to have a new Guardians.
Yeah, you might have to.
They haven't introduced a lot of characters in the Guardians.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Angela's very she's amazing though. But yeah, the thing was they're doing. I don't know what's up with Spawn. Tom McFarlane said he's gonna have an update on Spawn. Now there's rumors it might be a TV series. I don't know.
Oh God, I'll tell you right now, Aaron, it's not happening.
I don't think
I'll bet on it that it's not gonna ever happen. As long as Todd McFarlane is involved, trying to direct it and produce it, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because he's so protective over his Spawn. He's very protective over it.
I think he should just give it up and just get a executive producer credit. You know what I mean? Be the creative consultant.
Yeah, because look, the '97 Spawn. Okay, it wasn't overall received. I don't think it was a terrible movie. I mean, I think John Leguizamo as Clown was amazing. I think he played a great clown. I think he was the best part of the whole movie. Him as Violator and Clown. I love that. I mean, you know what scene cracks me up? The cheerleader scene.
Yeah.
but Spawn, really in the '90s, Spawn was on the verge of taking over Batman and Spider-Man's most popular character.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. What was the downfall? Was it the movie?
I don't think it was a movie. I think it just he didn't capitalize on the hype, because if you really think about it, Spawn is just Spawn. You know what I mean? It's not branching out.
Not Batman or
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know what he is?
He's a cool Spawn is a cool character. I know they made animated series with that.
Yeah, that HBO show was amazing.
But the character's cool, but I don't think that the character will ever reach the level to Batman and Spider-Man.
No, he's not. Never.
But it is cool that they're gonna have a crossover in December in comics.
It's the third time they crossover, and
I don't have a problem with the idea. It's pretty cool. You're gonna have Todd McFarlane. You're gonna have Jim Lee and Greg Capullo all working together.
So then, if for example, guys, if Todd McFarlane decides to give, I don't know if he's bitter towards Marvel still, but
it's awesome to see Greg Capullo coming back.
Yeah, that's where he started with Spawn, and DC took him from Spawn. Same with Jim Lee. Jim Lee was Image at one point. So, guys, I have a question for you. If Todd McFarlane decides to let Spawn collaborate with Marvel, which characters would you like to see him with? The Midnight Suns?
Yeah, Midnight Suns, Venom, obviously.
Yeah, probably those.
Probably most likely. If they, because I know he would never do this, but I think they would just turn Spawn into an anti-hero for kind of like a Punisher or a Venom.
I have a funny joke. You know his wife is Wanda? They just make him fall in love with Scarlet Witch.
Oh man.
Didn't they? What's happened with Punisher? I know they
I think I heard he's coming back.
I don't know if that's confirmed.
In the comics, I know they're doing some questionable things that people are not liking with Punisher.
Well, I actually don't know what they have done now after that whole he was like the leader of the hand.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't even read that.
he has like now he uses swords and everything like that. They rebrand the logo.
What is he?
That was
He's
just that
Deadpool?
was really nothing. That was just sort of like
He's Deadpool now.
he's not really Deadpool. He's more like what happened to Daredevil. Because
Oh.
Daredevil was the leader of the hand at one point.
Oh yeah, he
It's
was.
just yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know, the way I know She-Hulk's coming up, but I think Daredevil's gonna overshadow her.
definitely.
Like,
I think the reason why though is because that show has like way too much shit going on.
Marvel does that, don't you think? Marvel tends to have characters that they're not in the lead, not in the title, to overshadow their lead character. Doctor Strange had it Illuminati. Spider-Man had it since they're 5,
Yeah.
and now they have a Daredevil and stuff like in the She-Hulk. I mean,
Well, I think it's because of Thor Ragnarok and Civil War. Those
Yeah.
movies are so successful that they're like, hey, we don't really need to make like 2 separate movies. You could just do one big movie and people will all just go and see it anyway.
mhm.
Yeah.
Because remember, that was like one of the criticisms of Phase 2. They were like, oh, where's all the characters showing up, right? So, well, there's your answer.
Now there's too much content with Marvel. Like
It's way too much. There's like 10 projects a year.
like
Yeah, there is.
This is the one thing that I do like about like DC is like I don't want too much content being shoved in my face. Like
Mhm.
you like you have too many like they have too many with Marvel. You have too many Disney Plus series. And like that is just too much coming out this year, and it's like that. How many is that total? Like they
8
have?
projects a year.
Oh my god, that is too
I don't
much.
think I think this year it was 7 because there was only 3 movies.
Well, yeah, because 2020 we were supposed to get at least WandaVision,
So if you have
Loki,
7,
Captain Falcon Winter Soldier in 2020, but that's been postponed all the way to 2021. So
Mhm.
it kind of oversaturated, right?
Yeah, 20. The original 2020 was it was like 3 movies and then the 3 Disney Plus shows. But now we're getting like 4 Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic really caused like this overload because now it's like they're trying to catch up to like schedule or something.
Yeah,
and it's
Which
like
they don't
it's
need
gotten
to.
It's gotten to a point where like and I started doing this with Moon Knight, where it's like I'm not in a rush to watch the Disney Plus episodes.
yeah.
Moon
Yeah.
Knight was
Like here's the thing, like I'm only gonna be in a rush for the shows that I'm really interested in and the movies that I'm really looking forward to. Like No Way Home, like that was definitely a must see for me opening day or opening weekend. Same
Yeah.
thing with Multiverse of
Spider-Man,
Madness.
like
Ant-Man Quantumanium, because I'm curious to see Kang. Like I'm gonna see that opening weekend where like something like the Marvels, like if I don't see it right away, it's not the end of the world. I can wait.
I heard the
following-
Marvels is terrible.
Yo, like they're gonna have like a musical number or something.
I don't.
Someone came out. Did you see that, Aaron? The test screening. I mean, the movie wasn't finished, but it sounds. Yeah, man, I don't know how they could just keep putting out these movies, and it's like, man, this sounds like Thor Ragnarok all over again.
You know why?
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It make money no matter how bad it is. It's
It
like
sounds like
Transformer.
this is what it is. It sounds like Thor Ragnarok without gore. Like the villain is very generic.
Who's the
like
villain?
who's the villain?
I don't know the name. It's not a significant character, but you know, Tom Hiddleston's wife.
Yeah, I know. She's the villain. I
Yeah,
know
she's the
exactly.
villain. Yeah,
Why
she's
did-
the villain.
Why did freaking Moonstone or somebody like?
Considering
Who
how
killed?
like
Is it Moonstone? Is it
I
Moonstone based
I
on-
was saying, why isn't Michael Korvac the villain?
Oh, Michael Korvac. Yeah, something like that.
considering how at Comic-Con, like they did nothing to hype up the Marvels. They hyped up Ant-Man 3, Guardians Volume 3, and made all these other big announcements, and not including the Marvels, tells me that
Oh, I
like,
tell you what, Brie Larson.
something's a bit missing with the Marvels.
Because Brie Larson was in Europe.
But still, like I feel like
Yeah.
maybe like they could have like giving like a presentation saying after like our next multiverse adventure with Ant-Man 3 and our conclusion with
You
the
go-
Guardians, we're going to be
D23,
revisiting
man.
Captain
We'll wait for
Marvel.
D23. We'll wait for D23.
Yeah, if they
Probably.
don't announce something with it at D23 though,
I-
then I think there's
I personally think we're not gonna get much of D23.
I do have
I don't agree with that. I think there's going to be a lot. They still didn't show off because remember, there's not a Disney Plus show in this fall. It's going to be 2 specials: the Halloween special and the Christmas special.
Oh, I mean,
So-
yes. I think we're gonna get some of the stuff that's been rumored.
Some
Some stuff has been rumored. I think we'll get announced at D23. And I think some cast.
I don't think there's no X-Men, by the way.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
going to be no
either.
X-Men. And I predicted that, by the way.
I agree.
People were saying that was crazy.
X-Men ain't coming before Secret Wars. I'm making that guarantee right now.
It's not the thing that they will do. Like you can't. So you saw that rumor, right? The rumor that they can't recast the characters. So that's already tells you right there. If there's a rumor like that, then they're not going to show up.
It's not just that. I feel like the priority is to get Fantastic Four
That's why I hate
for Secret Wars because they want Doctor Doom in.
Yeah,
Yes,
Doctor Doom's
yeah.
definitely in. Doctor Doom, we know, is in. We're gonna probably see in Black Panther too. I think that's pretty. I think
that's guaranteed. The actor, though, they said they cast the actor. No one knows who.
Who is it? You could say. I think.
No, I don't know who it is.
Oh, so the thing with Miss Marvel, I didn't do a review on Miss Marvel, but like what angered me about Miss Marvel was, I had no problem if they're going to introduce a mutant gene, right? Because originally the creator of Miss Marvel wanted her to be a mutant, right? Instead of being human. I have no problem with that. The problem I have is Kamala. It's like, okay, it didn't bother her.
I didn't even was bothered by that. I mean, to be fair, I didn't watch the whole series. Like, I just had my friend tell me, and I was like, this makes no fucking sense to make her a mutant right after they were like, yeah, her powers come from the gauntlet or the bangle. So it's like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. That's a big, massive hole now that you have to explain because, I would say like it's a lore hole, if that makes sense. Because remember, they haven't explained what the mutants are, right? But if they go, oh, the mutants are like not like there's some mutants that don't have powers, right? But they're mutants, like that'd be stupid, right? Like then anybody can be a mutant. Because you could be like, oh, Spider-Man was a mutant, but like the spider is what activated his powers, right? That's where you're like, okay, that's really stupid, and that downplays the X-Men.
I know, yeah, because I know in X-Men is that to be a mutant, you have to have the mutant gene in you. It doesn't get activated to a certain age, right? Is it age?
They tried doing that with the Hulk, which was absolutely stupid, and they just retconned it because it was just dumb.
Like stupid with like the spider thing with like the Amazing Spider-Man films, where Amazing Spider-Man 2, like that subway scene with like the coins,
yes,
and then like the like that's what you just.
It's like predestined. It's like I hate that storyline.
It's like that I think was what really ruined Amazing Spider-Man 2 for me. It was like, what the hell is this? Like, what is Sony doing?
Yes, it's just really dumb because then you're like, okay, if everything is predestined, then like, why are people not scared of like someone like Spider-Man or the Hulk?
Do these writers or directors from the MCU ever check up on the past projects just to make sense like of everything?
No, I still think the Miss Marvel is pure fan service. You didn't need her if you weren't gonna make her Inhuman. Fine, like okay, whatever. You're gonna change her powers around, okay, fine. But then you're like, oh, let's make her a mutant because this is obviously what the fans want. But then it's like, well, you have a whole freaking TV show that explains her powers, and now you're just like shoehorning this in.
The whole Illuminati thing was fan service too.
Yes, that was also fan service, and now it's like, okay, are you gonna do the Illuminati in the MCU? Because now people are just gonna like take it as a joke. Well, they can't though. They can't anyway. Who's going to be on the Illuminati anyway? Like half of them are gone or not established.
Well, only we all know Mortal's alive.
Well, I mean, like in the comics, right? Like Doctor Strange would be on it. Tony Stark, he's dead. Professor X, he's not in the main line.
Isn't Doctor Strange dead in the comics?
He came back.
No one
It's
ever
that whole
stays dead in the
storyline is.
comics.
I know he dies
Yeah.
in the comic. They
No
all
one ever
come
It-
stays
back.
dead in the comics.
I have to check. I have to check and see if he's like actually back. But the
Hey.
storyline wasn't that he was dead. It was that someone killed his physical body and he had like a spiritual, the astral
Oh, yeah.
projection that made like a clone. So now he had like a second body. It was really stupid.
Oh, that sounds stupid as
You
hell.
know what Doctor Strange? You know what the thing about Doctor Strange is in the MCU? Anybody can learn magic.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Anybody can
pretty
learn
much.
magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we could just walk up and say, "Can we learn the magic?" Anybody can learn it.
Are you guys
Yeah,
gonna
hey.
get what's it
It's
called?
like Dragon Ball Z. Anybody can learn energy attacks.
Oh man.
Yo, that's the other thing. No one ever stays dead in Dragon Ball Z either.
Oh my.
Well, they got the Dragon Ball.
No, we got the Dragon Balls. Like seriously, the Dragon Balls, like the Dragon Balls, like if they were in the MCU, forget it. Like people will just be coming back all the time.
Oh man. They're gonna bring back
No.
Tony Stark.
You know, in Dragon Ball Z,
No.
I
if
think
Goku,
he'll be a hologram. I think he'll be a hologram.
If Goku was a
Well, if that's the
Goku-
case, you're gonna see him next year then.
if Goku was an MCU.
Oh yeah,
If
that's
Goku
right.
was an MCU, he would take down the invasion of Loki. He would take down the invasion of Thanos all by himself in Endgame.
No, he would give Thanos all
Oof.
the Infinity Stones and then say, "Let's fight."
No, man.
Vegeta would do that. And you know what?
This is
Goku would defeat Thanos 1-on-1.
No, because this is the same guy that gave Goku gave Cell a senzu bean before he fought his own
I know
son.
that's true. That's true.
It's like he would give him all the Infinity Stones and be like, "Okay, fight me with all your strength," and Thanos would be like, "Snap," and Goku
Yeah,
would turn
yeah.
to dust.
But seriously, if he didn't have, if Goku would have took down all Thanos' armies just like that, really. I mean, like Dragon Ball Z characters could destroy the world just by doing an small energy beam. Bye bye Earth. The physics wouldn't work. Like it'd be like, yeah.
If Tony Stark does come back, how are you guys gonna feel? Because like
I think it's,
I'll
I
get
think
my
it's-
popcorn for the goddamn Twitter discourse because that's gonna be hilarious.
I think with a death like that, I think with a death like that, I think if you bring him back, that his death is meaningless.
Well, yeah, I think they're always going to bring these characters back. That's why it's hilarious when they go, "Oh, Sam Wilson is Captain America." I'm like, "But for how long though? Like, are you going to do what you did with Miles?"
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Quick question: What if they bring Tony Stark from a different universe and he's played by Tom Cruise? Like all the
Oh,
Doctor
man.
Strange 2 conspiracy theorists will be like, "We told you it was gonna happen. We told you."
Anyway, yeah.
Well, now
show
they're
me the money.
going. They're definitely going to try to do that now, just because of what happened with Multiverse Madness.
Show me the money. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, like I want like if they bring Tony Stark as like I know in the comics he's like a hologram AI or something like that.
Mhm.
That wears like his suit and everything like that. I wouldn't mind if they did that. Like I don't think
It'd be
people would.
really
You know
cheap,
what?
though.
Thanos was right, guys.
Yeah, probably.
Thanos is right. Thanos
Appreciate
we should all have been snapped because Thanos brought everybody back and we got a pandemic. Less people there is, the pandemic will be lessened. It's ironic though. It's
God
ironic,
damn.
right? 2019, 2019, they all. But it's 2023, right? When they all came back, 2023 is next year. Okay, we're in a pandemic. Thank you.
Oh boy, I'm sure someone on Twitter has made that comparison. You know how it is on Twitter.
I know.
Like they already had that cringy. Who posted? I think it was Comic Book Cringe. Posted it where they're like, it was like that scene from Multiverse of Madness with Wanda and Black Bolt, and they did it with Batgirl. I was like, oh man, that's cringe. Oof.
Oh no,
Now they're like everyone's on Twitter's making like David Zala as Darkseid and stuff like that.
Oh
no,
man.
no, Zalva was not Darkseid. Zaslav is the Joker, man. Instead of
Yeah, he is
paralyzing
the Joker.
Batgirl, he killed the Batgirl. Yeah. No, he's
Yeah,
not Darkseid.
he's definitely the Joker. He's like burned that shit
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. He's a.
It's crazy.
He's,
Yeah.
look at his hands up. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. Like, what else is happening? Yeah. So, Blind Bill, what do you think of what happens if Batman was the MCU? He would make sure Ultron would never happen.
Yeah, definitely. I still think, if they want to like get people back in the comics, like a Marvel versus DC crossover would be like massive. That would be a pretty big deal.
Again, when was the last
Like
time
that would be awesome. I just feel like the companies would probably never work with each other, to be honest.
I just don't know why it hasn't happened though. They had Amalgam Comics, but that was like dog shit. Like, just keep it real. But like because they hinted at it multiple times.
The thing with Marvel and DC is like, it's not like they can't do it. It's like I feel like it's gonna be very hard for both of them to cooperate.
Here, I'm gonna pitch the idea to Disney and Warner Brothers. Sam Raimi, the sequel to the Multiverse of the Madness. If you're listening, Disney, if you're listening, Warner Brothers, that MCU and the DC, that Batman who laughs enter the Dark Multiverse of Madness, or Batman who laughs, he would kill every Avenger. Seriously, my God! And if he gets to the Darkest Night, it's over. It becomes Darkest Night, it's over.
Oh
It's
man.
done. Dude.
I would like a good, decent year of like them doing like, I don't know, you can call it like Infinite Crisis or some shit, and have them like crossover. Because like Amalgam Comics was weak as hell. It was just like, oh, what happens if they merged? And it's like, no one wants to see that trash. We want to see them like team up. Like, we want to see them do stuff and like interact, and like that's like way more interesting.
Yeah, that would be cool. I wish it would happen, but I feel like both DC and Marvel have like very big egos, and they probably won't let it happen.
The thing is, like, okay, like, I think it was maybe like a couple years back. I want to say like 2020, and 2021.
Yeah.
So I guess it wasn't a couple years back, but they in what was it? Was it Doomsday Clock? At the end of Doomsday Clock, they hint that Superman fights the Hulk and Thor, and then in Donny Cates' Thor, they literally talk about the Justice League in a different universe. And then on top of that too, Marvel did Heroes Reborn, which was basically what happens is it's like if Iron Man and Spider-Man and all these characters didn't exist, that the Marvel universe would actually just be the DC universe, right? So it was like all these characters that were like analogs, right? Like they had Nighthawk, and he was basically Batman, and there was Ravencroft Asylum, and that was like, there's all these characters, even Marvel characters were inside. So they're implying that like Deadpool and Moon Knight would be in Arkham Asylum. It was kind of fun. It was interesting.
You lost again.
Oh, we lost Aaron.
No, I just went on a different browser. That's all. Sorry. Yeah, I heard about Nighthawk.
Yeah, that comic was cool.
Yeah, Nighthawk. Like, didn't they introduce the character in a cartoon or something?
Did Stanley say his favorite comic book character is actually Batman?
What?
Did he say that? That'd be pretty based if he said that. Be like, fuck Marvel. Imagine he said that. Holy shit.
Stanley does like DC though. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if he liked Batman though, because it makes a lot of sense. Like a lot of Marvel, like people even say that Batman is very much like a Marvel character.
Yes.
Where it's like if he was in the Marvel universe, like out of all the DC characters, Batman would make the most sense.
I always said Batman, if he was an Avenger, he'd feel more like home as an Avenger than a Justice League member, because there's more human, like without powers in the Avengers. Like that's a. Yeah, I agree. I agree there. And
I would love to see like someone do a reimagine where Batman was like in the history of the Marvel universe. That would be really cool
That would be
because you
interesting.
could do you would change up like a lot of like the lore and mash it up and see like where you can, where it goes.
yeah. What's this rumor I'm hearing? DC's losing Batman to Marvel? I bet you if it never happened, if they lose DC to if they say tomorrow DC loses Batman goes to Marvel, D23, Kevin Feige announces a Batman movie in the MCU.
Oh my
man! Oh
Yo,
my
he's
god!
like, we're gonna get Batman. We're gonna get our Trinity in before Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars at least.
You know what's gonna happen, right? If that ever
We're
happens,
gonna get the Trinity in.
You know what's gonna happen? That would happen right away, right? If DC ends up losing the rights to Batman and Batman goes to the Marvel, that right away they're gonna do an MCU because it's Batman.
Okay, but what happens if they go and announce it? They're like, we're bringing the Trinity, and then Zack Snyder walks on stage. You know.
Yo, what if, it's like Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and Gal Gadot are on screen being like, "We're reuniting again, and we're going to be joining Benedict Cumberbatch, Tom Holland, Brie Larson, and Secret Wars." And it's like they all come on stage. It's like, "Welcome to the Marvel family."
Dude, do you know how many people's minds would literally cave in that moment? They couldn't fanboy anymore. They didn't know what to do.
I'm the Joker.
Geralt would literally like go crazy on Twitter.
Well, they would flip on a dime. They would be like, MCU is amazing now. I love MCU.
Geralt the Snyderverse would become Geralt of the MCU.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like literally, like all the Marvel cast is just embracing Ben, Henry, and like Gal, and they're like, "Welcome to our nice Marvel family."
The first Batman movie interacts with Avengers. Be like, you guys fucked up so much. If you're responsible for a country being destroyed by Ultron, you're responsible for the snap. You guys are fuck ups. That's what you need to be here. Because never happens again.
They let Ben Affleck direct the Batman movie, and like they let him do his Batman film, and it's like,
I'm seriously.
Wait, what?
I'm seriously. If Batman was MCU, during the first 3 phases, he would be so pissed off of the Avengers because the Avengers are not proactive; they're always reactive type of people, right? So Batman's the opposite. He's always proactive, and Batman, he would chastise the whole every Avenger. He'd be like,
"Yeah, I'm pretty sure Batman would make Nick Fury lose his other eye."
But yeah, see, here's the thing about Civil War. Whose side would Batman be on? Captain America or Iron Man? I would say personally, I'd be like, he'd call me, you're both fucking idiots. You don't realize what this could do to your team. And he'd just go to Gotham. Like, I'm done with you guys. I think that's what Batman would do.
I think you would probably be on Cap's side.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to give up his identity.
Because he has it, yeah.
I mean, you have a killer clown out there. Well, Joker doesn't really care about the Batman side, the Bruce Wayne side, but there's other villains to do. Right?
But I think it's more about the principle for Batman.
Yeah, because you know what? I mean, he did when Lex Luthor was president. He didn't trust him in Public Enemies.
Yeah.
And Batman and Superman are pretty much the only superhero criminals. Superman was criminals.
That reminds me. Someone was talking about it. If the DC universe had their own Illuminati, who would be on it? So many people had some good ass fucking choices.
Probably maybe Zatanna, Constantine. I don't know.
Well, a lot of people were picking like more like Dr. Fate. Like it was basically like analogs, right?
Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Batman would definitely be on it. I think Batman will definitely be on
it. I think Batman's always a maybe to me for this kind of stuff. Because Gotham's always the number 1 priority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at who I put on the team.
Dr. Fate would definitely be on it. Maybe Constantine.
I picked like analogs. Like I picked what's his name from Doom Patrol? Niall. I forget his name. I picked like a bunch of fucking people. Yeah, I forget his last name. The leader of the Doom Patrol.
I have a hot take. Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I put Lex Luthor on there too. You couldn't. It's like it's just too perfect to put Lex Luthor on Illuminati.
Did you since the Batgirl movie was canceled, Leslie Grace showed a bunch of set images and
Does Leslie
videos
Grace have a
and
copy somewhere she could just release it?
like set images and
That's gonna
videos
happen.
of
She would get sued,
her.
right? She would get sued big time.
Someone is going to
Or they'll get
unless they can jump in right now and get the copy and delete it. It's gonna be out there and someone's gonna leak it.
Yeah, and whoever leaks it
Batgirl?
is gonna get messed. Yeah.
Because like I wouldn't be so. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets leaked. But I can also see them like trying to make sure that this doesn't turn into another, release the Snyder Cut shit.
And it's already started with the Batgirl stuff. That's really has
Yeah,
started.
Because you know that that the Snyder Cut wouldn't actually have happened unless Zack Snyder did some fuckery.
You know
Like,
what?
I'm pretty sure he stole the hard drive.
Here's the thing.
I stole the hard drive.
Jason Keeler and those
Yeah,
guys
that's-
gave in. Those guys gave in to the Snyder Cut. To me, Zaslav doesn't sound like the type who's going to give in.
Dude,
That's the reason why. But you know why people don't understand why people are like so adamantly hate the Snyder Cut from Hollywood is because I'm very certain that he stole it. It's Warner Brothers property he stole. Right? Like he had to. Because like how did he get the file? And like why was he working on it way after
Yes.
the movie released?
Yes, his inside man steal it for him.
Someone stole it. I'm telling you, someone definitely stole
yeah.
that cut.
Yeah, but I agree. I don't think David Zaslav would do the same thing with Batgirl. Like, I feel bad. Like, I do feel bad. Like, everyone that worked on. Like, I know Leslie Grace was very passionate about this character. I know, like, the DCEU is gonna get a full reboot. I kind of feel bad for them at the same time because they were very passionate about this project, and I feel like they could have just released on HBO Max.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I just feel bad for them because like you have two directors that and you brought Michael Keaton back as well, and like he flew all the way to Glasgow to do his scenes, and I feel like they kind of wasted.
Oh, there's a
Like they all of the actors, I feel like got their time wasted now because now they won't. Now no one won't see their film that they were so passionate about.
There's a good chance like Michael Keaton you may not see Michael Keaton in any of the movies coming up.
Yeah, I think the Flash. We that's
I
the.
don't know. I'm
he can still be Vulture in the Sonyverse.
Oh fuck.
Yo, we're gonna find a Spider-Man. So what's your Spider-Man look like?
But yeah, like
It's gonna be Ezra Miller Spider-Man.
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my! Oh my god!
So you think the movie will get leaked or something like that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be like, why not?
If someone leaks it on YouTube, it'd be like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get so many people watching. It's gonna get definitely get 1 million views.
Yeah, like
You get more. Somebody leak it on Twitter. I mean, not on Twitter, on YouTube, please.
Yeah. Here's the
Oh,
thing:
I
people
wish.
underestimate like not just like Michael Keaton. Brendan Fraser has a big fan base for crying out loud.
And yeah, he was getting back, man. He's getting back into the. I mean, yeah, people just love Brendan Fraser. Such a good.
I grew up on the Mummy movies with Brendan Fraser. Like I love Brendan Fraser.
The Mummy. What else did he do? Dudley Do-Right, George of the Jungle. You know, it's a great movie. Blast from the Past. What else? Brendan Fraser. I mean, like, I know he's great in Doom Patrol as the robot. But yeah, I was excited. I mean, like Firefly, man. I would never thought we'd get Firefly in the movie.
Yeah, like it sucks. We will never see his version.
Yo,
we won't see his version of Firefly. I was really excited to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly. I think that was awesome. Seeing Leslie Grace as Batgirl and like seeing Michael Keaton back. Like I feel like this would have been awesome. I feel like this would have been an awesome movie, and I guess we'll never see it.
Yeah, and I remember like weeks ago or months ago, like they were saying, "Oh, this is gonna be like, we got a tone similar to Tim Burton Batman." It's like, yo, like that would have been like fun to see, especially for someone like me who like never got to experience like Batman Returns when they first came out because I wasn't even born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been pushing James Gunn on Twitter, but do Killer Moth, have Killer Moth.
Yeah, we were actually supposed to have Killer Moth in the Batgirl movie too.
Really? Oh, really? Wow. Oh,
like that was a rumor, so I don't know if it's true or not. But like, if it was true, that would have been awesome. But
what happened?
Killer Moth. I've been pushing James Gunn to have Killer Moth for his next DC project.
Yeah, we were supposed to have Killer Moth in the Batgirl movie.
Wait, Killer Moth?
Yeah. He was
Firefly.
He
Firefly.
No, you were gonna have both in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were gonna have
who
both.
Who was Killer Moth then?
They didn't they didn't say who's gonna be casting,
Oh,
but it was like it was gonna be a surprise in the movie.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Like,
wow.
I don't know. Like, the more I hear about this movie, the more I feel bad.
Like, I'm curious because, like, I have a feeling that it would have been just okay.
They worked. Leslie Grace released a statement on their Instagram, right? Like,
yeah,
the movie took filmed over 7 months in Scotland, working 7 months filming a movie in Scotland, and to have it snatched away from you and not being shown, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
that's cold.
And you even see like Leslie Grace and Sasha Kaye going to the comic book store and buying a Batgirl comic.
I bet now they kind of regret doing that.
Yo, they were excited.
I wonder how
they were like posting pictures together. Like they were excited for this future.
Yeah, and for some reason that pissed some Snyder fans to see them to be happy.
You know, that's how pissed off all Hollywood. Like, a lot of big shots in Hollywood are like, instead of some of their studios know about this, like, they're not going to want to work with Zaslav. I'm sorry. Like, no.
Well, yeah, that's why I think he did that intentionally. He did that intentionally to piss off everybody because he's like, Warner Brothers, like, I can guarantee you, he was saying that Warner Brothers puts out shit just because they give, like, creatives the benefit of doubt. I bet that's what his line of thinking is. And Disney doesn't do that. Disney hires like the right people and they rein them in. Like some people I bet have like some, loose because they're like, they're established. Like I'm sure Jon Favreau could do whatever the hell he wants at Disney.
Yeah.
Guy's a proven track record. Like the guy's like dipped his finger in everything at Disney and it's been successful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So he's like, hey, if you're coming to work with me, you're coming to work with me as a business. Like, I'm not going to make your art, which kind of sucks, though, because there's not a lot of studios doing that. Like, the only studio now that's...
Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
I think a lot of studios like to have a relationship with the talent, They like, whoever is a director or actors, they most of them like to have a relationship with them because they want to work with them again, right?
Yeah.
Zaslav was like, nope, no relationship. That's I understand he wants quality, right? But that could actually hurt Warner Brothers. Like,
yeah, if they don't, like, I don't know how fast he wants it, but it's gonna take some time if you want quality.
It's just that he's not used to the movie side of entertainment. He's more on the Discovery, the TV side, right? So it's a little different, right?
But I think he has his. I think he has his own plans.
Yes. Definitely.
Like I think he's like one of the type of people who sees Hollywood, and he's just like they're like ruining what something was great. Like I really think he's that type of person, or he's like, why aren't we at the level of a Disney, but like better? You know what I mean? Like I think he's thinking like that.
Yeah, but I do agree. Like DC can be at the level with
Yeah,
Marvel.
he's thinking about the entertainment side, the movie side, but
Yeah.
that Warner. There's Warner, but the video games and the comic books industry of that of Warner Brothers is actually doing very good.
Yeah,
Like
he's only,
decent, yeah.
yeah
like
he's only focusing on really like it doesn't seem like he's gonna touch the animations or like the games and stuff like that. Seems like his priority is the extended universe.
I think that's maybe
yeah,
because
because
one, he
you need the
doesn't
Arkham
care as
series.
much, and two, I think that those like mediums, maybe besides the comics, are like decent at best.
The
Yeah.
thing is, yes, he's right though, because the MCU. I know a lot of MCU people never read the comics, but the MCU got people into reading the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then-
maybe that could be like I don't know what his plan is. I don't know what he's gonna do. Like we'll probably find out maybe next year about his slate and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we're definitely
DC should do more of what they did with the Batman, because the Batman had like this huge promotion campaign where they were selling comics that were associated with the movie. I've never seen that before. That was really interesting. I think they should definitely do that again, because like
Yeah.
it would it just sort of again the synergy.
Yeah, just have
Well,
one
that's
strong
another
movie.
thing too.
Or
But
like Black Label movies is not a bad idea. Once in a
Like
while.
they're going to try to streamline everything where things match up perfectly, right? Like I'm telling you, it's gonna eventually happen. Where I'm really curious to see what like the first DC project he announced.
I think it's gonna be Superman because he talks a lot about Superman being the focus and everything like that. He wants to
Mhm.
fix the perception of Superman because he talks about Superman not getting like his due.
His
He's
due,
right. He's
yeah.
right. He's right. And I think what? I think Henry Cavill agrees with them.
I think Henry Cavill's gonna go though.
I know I agree with you, but I agree with you there. But I think Henry Cavill has the same mindset as Zazoff in the way how Superman should present.
To be honest, I know this is gonna get like me a lot of shit, but I think the reason why Superman is not in the position that he is because of Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill has won. The Zack Snyder movies have done a significant amount of damage. And a lot of Snyderverse people. That's why I don't listen to Snyderverse people anymore, because it's like, like they're a very like passionate fan base, but they're not really like some people I know in real life do like Man of Steel, but I don't hear them talking about Batman versus Superman or Justice League. And Superman's in that movie. So when I'm like, oh, Superman, they only think about Man of Steel, which I think is very telling, right?
Yeah, because
here's the thing. I know, like, it's very telling when people say they only started liking Superman because of Man of Steel. Like,
yes, that's a red flag in my opinion.
Like, here's the thing. Like,
Henry Cavill doesn't even like that Superman. He doesn't want to see Superman.
Like, I love Superman since the Superman the animated series. Like, that was my introduction to Superman. That's what got me to watch the Christopher Reeve films. Read some of the comics, and like get into the character. Like, to me, that was the perfect Superman.
It's fucking Zack Snyder taking the New 52 Superman.
This is my problem with I would say Zack Snyder's interpretation, and like people can disagree with me all they want, but like I feel like he did some damage with the perception of Batman and Superman, because
I'd say more so Superman.
Because Batman, I'm not surprised. I think Batman, because there's times that Batman does get a little bit more ruthless than other times in the comics and stuff. We all know that.
No,
I don't think Ben Affleck as Batman didn't do as much damage because he's barely in the movies. Let's be honest.
It's Superman. I agree.
It's not just because he's brutal. It's when I talk to people now, it's like, when you think of Batman, what do you think of? And they always bring up The Dark Knight Returns now because of freaking Zack Snyder.
Which is dumb. I think a lot of people more so like Ben. They like the characters, or they like. I know. I don't even like Dark Knight Returns. I think the Dark Knight Returns is.
I don't understand why it's so popular. Like,
I think it's because it's a mature Batman story. I think that's the reason why.
Right, and but
you have
Frank Miller too, right?
It's Frank Miller, and it's like the time when DC was having the Renaissance. So it was like, oh, like this is interesting. It's not a good comic. Like I'm not saying it's not a good comic, but like to me, it's not a good Batman comic. Like
Yeah, it's not.
it plays around way too much with his character, and to be honest, they don't really give a good explanation of
You know
why
what
he's
it
in the
does?
position he
It
is.
makes him. You know when he takes over the mutants and they make him the mutants part of his army. That's not
Yeah.
Batman.
No.
No.
It works as an okay Elseworld story at best. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like,
Like,
I
Here's the
can
thing.
I consider it as an Elseworld story, but I hated the idea where Zack Snyder skipped all the way to Dark Knight Returns to make that version of Batman.
ooh, Zack Snyder had a
Here's the
lot
thing.
of shit ideas. I don't
Zack-
see anybody
Yeah,
talking about
go
that.
ahead,
Zack has
George.
been
Let
very-
George-
Bruce and Lois.
Killing
Let-
Dick Grayson.
Yeah, killing Dick Grayson.
Let George go, guys.
Zach has been very open about saying he wanted to do a Dark Knight Returns film to begin with, like that, like he's even said he would do a Dark Knight Returns film without Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck. I remember my introduction to the Dark Knight Returns. It wasn't even the comic; it was the animated film, and right away I was like, something's off. I don't know why. It just feels off, and it's just like I've never been that crazy about the story.
It's Zack
It's
Snyder.
too Frank Miller, in my opinion.
You know why? You know why Zack Snyder? I'm not surprised he would say that. Zack Snyder likes to do dark story. His films tend to be dark, right? So he needs darker tone stories. And Dark Knight Returns is perfect.
I don't even think it's just dark. I think he's just edgy for being sake of edgy.
being
Like,
edgy,
look
yeah.
at Watchmen. Like, I understand that people like Watchmen, but I think Watchmen, when you hear him in the interview, he really wants to like emphasize this edginess. Like, oh my, comics are for kids. You know, like we gotta make it more mature and adult. And then he does like a lot of these dumbass shit, and it's like, dude, like nuance is a thing.
Yeah.
And the thing with Zack Snyder is like when I heard a few like interviews I was on talks about like Batman and Superman is like he talks about like I don't think he reads comics and stuff like that.
I think he just reads graphic novels.
Or he just knows the Dark Knight Returns is he likes. The method he likes doing is ripping, like I guess tearing the character apart and putting it.
I think he just reads the popular
deconstruction.
I think
he likes deconstruction. Yeah.
I think he just reads the popular graphic novels. That's it. Doesn't mean anything else.
I don't know how much comics he reads, right? Like I can't really gauge. But like I can definitely say that he is the type of person who probably likes deconstruction, and when it's like an Elseworld story and they're playing around with the mythology, I really don't see him really jiving with majority of DC.
When you're trying to build a DCU, a universe, you cannot make an Elseworld story, you know?
Here's the thing. You don't start your universe with a Batman that's been around for 20-something years. It's one thing if he's like going into year 2 or maybe year 3
or even year 5.
But
well, I still think you can do that though, but you can't do it the way that he did it. It's got to be like a Arkham, or like in the Arkham games, because that was a mature Batman.
In the Arkham games, there is Superman. They are Superman is in that universe.
Yeah, like Batman. When you start Arkham Asylum, Batman is like very well into his career. Like so many characters and so much of his villains have already been established, and that's perfectly fine.
Right?
You can do that.
Yeah, because Batman still felt like Batman. He was calm when he needed to. He was angry when it was well deserved. He wasn't like killing people. He was the Batman that everyone knows.
And a lot of things don't make sense with, I would say, like with the Dark Knight Returns, what he did in BVS, like you have he's killing people, but like if the Joker killed Robin and everything like that, and Batman's on killing spree, why do you still have Joker alive? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I think he's just it's a very cynical take on Batman. That's what it is. That's why it's like very like I think Frank Miller can write a decent Batman story, but it's not the Dark Knight Returns.
Remember Batman Robin? I think it's All Star. Oh my god,
that's another one that is like, because he has really like 3 types of Batman stories. Like that one where it's like feels like it's in continuity, and then you have the ones that are out of continuity where he's like playing with their beginning and sort of their end, right? And I think he does a better job with like kind of establishing a earlier Batman, because Batman is very jaded when he first starts off. But as he matures, he kind of again he matures. Like he kind of sees how immature he was.
Arkham Origins is very angry, very jaded, and you can tell Arkham Asylum is more calm and control.
But I think a lot of people like angry Batman, though. That's the unfortunate part.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like angry Batman. Yeah, we like angry heroes sometimes, but what makes Batman great is not his anger; it's his compassionate side.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think it's his he's so morally conflicted as a character, and he's also a father figure too. I don't understand why people like to discount that. Like that's one of his most crucial traits, in my opinion.
Yeah, so he takes in Dick Grayson because he doesn't want Dick Grayson to end up like him, like bitter.
Yeah, he's not a loner. I never understood that. Like he's very he can be a loner in the sense where he doesn't know how to open up, but that's because he's trying to work on building a family. Like he's trying to build a family that he didn't get to have as a kid.
He's afraid of look, you know what? The Batman perfectly explained this. You know how he was cold towards Alfred, right? He was cold towards Alfred not because he was selfish. He was cold towards Alfred because he felt unselfish. He didn't want to get close to Alfred because if he loses Alfred, they get in the hospital, like the bombing, right?
Yeah.
He admits he hasn't conquered his fear of losing someone. If he loses Alfred, he probably would have lost everything. His whole mind would have gone somewhere. Kind of like, he's afraid of losing people. That's why he keeps him so guarded. That's
the part that is missing in every single Batman movie.
Yes.
So sad.
Matt Reeves. That's why Matt Reeves is. I like The Dark Knight, but I think Matt Reeves has done the best job of explaining Bruce Wayne.
Especially that hospital scene. Yes, I agree.
That's Batman. That's Bruce Wayne. He's afraid of losing people.
That's why I want him to have a Robin so bad, because it's like you'll see that he will become the Batman that everybody wants.
His whole fear in that movie, he says he's not afraid to live, but he is afraid of something. He's afraid to live. He's not afraid to die, but he's afraid to live. That's right. He just because the whole movie. Look, I said this when George is on. He suffers from PTSD, right? But he also suffers from survivor guilt. Because Batman, if you know Batman, he feels like he should have died with his parents, right? Because he blames himself, right? Because if he blames himself for leaving whatever it's a play or a movie. He blames himself because he's the one who got scared, like George brought up earlier. He blames himself for his parents' death. He feels like he should have died in the alley with his parents.
Yeah.
And that Alfred scenes from. The Alfred scene when in the cave, like you don't care about your family's legacy. That's heartbreaking. But once you realize in the hospital scene, when the two are talking and how they met with their hands, and how Bruce explained why he was cold towards Alfred, that makes you feel bad for this character. You understand why he was cold towards Alfred. He doesn't want to lose him. And he saw some character growth from him caring about Selina too.
Yeah, I always liked their relationship. I hope they just continue to lean into it, because I hate it when it's like, you get one movie with them and then they never are together again, and it's like, well, why though? They're so they have the most chemistry in my opinion. Like I always hate when people go, him and Talia. I'm like, the fucking doesn't even know, barely knows Talia.
Talia, guys, I don't want to say this word, but Talia.
Oh, you cut off. Did he mute himself?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think he muted himself.
Yeah.
If you don't, Talia kind of, I don't want to say the word on stream. I'll say if you know what I mean.
She did. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And if they do stuff like that, they're not. Oh, crap! They're not going to do stuff like that in the Matt Reeves universe. They're not going to go that far because that'll get a lot of criticism and a lot of bad press about if they do something like that with Talia. They're not going to do that. I think that's out of the question. Because I don't want to say that word on stream. I
don't even think they're going to use Talia. And I always this is another hot take, but I always hated Damian Wayne. Never liked Damian Wayne. Couldn't stand the character. I always thought he was just shoehorned in there. I think the only time he really shined is when Dick Grayson was Batman. And I think that just kind of says something.
I think Damian Wayne has been pretty good in his own comic book series. his own comics been pretty good. Like I haven't liked Damian Wayne that much, but when I started reading his own comic book series, uh, like it's just called Robin and stuff like that.
Mm,
It's actually pretty good. It made me like the character a little more, but
mm.
like I still but he's still not my top Robin.
No, yeah, I always think the top Robin's always going to be Dick Grayson. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. Dick Grayson, man.
I don't care who they introduce.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I do have a question. Since like do you think, because people are saying, do you think they're gonna cancel what was it, Cape Crusader? People are saying they're gonna touch the animation stuff.
No, because Matt Reeves
The
working on it, isn't he?
animation.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I hope. Oh, yeah.
Cape
Shit.
Crusader. It's an animated Batman
I
cartoon.
hope not. Is it Paul Dini working on that?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
Paul. No, I don't think Paul Dini is. It's Bruce Timm, and then Ed
Tim, yeah.
Brubaker is working on it.
Well, I think Matt Reeves has something to help. It's like helping out.
Yeah, Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams, and then they got the fact that Ed Brubaker was like the leading. I think he's the head writer. I was like, yeah, this is definitely going to be good.
You know what?
I never read a bad Ed Brubaker comic. Like, the guy doesn't make bad comics. It's like literally impossible.
You know what?
So
show
you
made-
think the show's safe or something like that?
I don't know if the show's safe though.
Nothing is safe. You know what show I definitely think would get axed? It's that Superman show, animation show.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I agree with
guy.
you. I agree with that.
Yeah, I wanted to see it though because I was so confused when they said Jack Quaid. I was like, really, as Superman? I'm like, yeah, he's a decent actor, but like, I can't see him as Superman. Like, his voice just doesn't sound like Superman at all.
Yeah, I still
Oh,
remember
yeah.
when that show was first announced, and so many people got pissed off.
Yeah,
Oh, is it because Lois Lane has Superman in a headlock or Clark in a headlock?
Oh my
Something like that.
goodness! like,
You remember that? People were
Yeah. Like I hope it's safe. Like I'm excited for that animation project. Like I think it's just the DCU stuff. Like because like if they were get canceled because it doesn't seem like he's get touched any of the animation or like he did.
well, isn't it at HBO Max? That's the
I think
thing.
so.
But it's not.
It's HBO
because
Max and it's in production. I wouldn't be surprised if it's axed. Seems likely, to be honest.
No, please don't.
I think, yeah, like I think almost anything is on a chopping block. I think though, well, not almost anything. I definitely do think the Flash is safe. Aquaman, Shazam, Black Adam.
Definitely shave.
Yes. The Batman universe, the Reeves universe, I think it's safe. I'm not sure about Arkham series. I think the Penguin series might be safe, but I'm not sure if everything, because I'm pretty sure they were planning more projects in that universe.
Yeah, the Penguin project is interesting. I would assume they would keep it and they would not do the Arkham series, which would suck, but because they said that they're minimizing on HBO content. So I really don't see them being like, oh, we need to have like a spin-off series to the movie, like what they were doing with the Suicide Squad and the Batman. Right?
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
I
that
think
kind of sucks.
I just don't understand why they're minimizing content.
It's just because it's too expensive.
It's cost saving and Zaslav is cheap.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Zaslav wants to do reality TV. So are we gonna do Dancing with the DC superheroes? Are we
Arkham.
gonna
No, man.
do
Zaslav
like
is not
Harry
cheap.
Potter competitions? Like,
I really think, there's going to be no DC live action shows.
Yeah,
Like, I think if whatever's are shooting, like, that's it. That's
didn't
really what I
Gotham
think
Knights
is going to
get
happen.
canceled?
Oh yeah.
I think I heard
Um,
something about the
so-
CW Gotham Knights getting canceled.
I wouldn't be surprised. They already moved the DC logo off of it anyway.
Yeah, I saw a report on Twitter that it was canceled, but like that's just a rumor.
But
But you know what was crazy though? The craziest part was that when they said that the Green Lantern show was axed a long time ago. Like, I was like, when though?
Yeah, nobody reported that. Like I saw nobody.
No one reported that. all these
Yeah.
all these scoopers. Oh, we know what's going on, but that show's apparently been dead for a long time.
Yeah, none of the scoopers knew.
Do you think sometimes with companies they do cancel some stuff, but they don't officially announce it and just keep it quiet behind closed doors?
Well,
Usually
I don't.
stuff.
I can see them doing that just because, like, the problem with Warner Brothers has been that they announce so many projects, and it doesn't really. There's no movement on it, right? Which I think is really unfortunate.
It's been like that for like over 10 years, like even longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they just have
don't-
like a really bad track record of doing that.
It's like
I mean-
it's like they announce a project with nobody in place, not even the director in place, nobody in place.
Like imagine if Marvel did that though. Like how would you guys feel?
Because
I'd be annoyed.
Be in a mess. Because at least in Marvel, when they do that, they already have people in place, like a director in place or a writer in place. DC didn't do that; they have nobody in place.
Yeah, like you don't announce,
it
we're
dep-
making a
depends
Green
on the-
Lantern.
Yeah.
It depends on the
Well, here's the thing.
movie.
Marvel canceled Inhumans, which was supposed to come out after Endgame, but instead we got Spider-Man Far From Home. So you can make the case that like they got rid of a project no one wanted versus a project people wanted because it's
Well,
Spider-Man. So it's like
I think the Inhumans one, I don't think they really officially canceled it. I think it just got shifted because it was now a TV project. Because they were working on it. They obviously have a script on that movie. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah, that's kind of like.
but again, like
semantics, but-
outside of that, and again, that got replaced with the project people were more excited for. So, like, here's the thing: take a look
Yeah.
at the Flash, for example. The Flash was originally supposed to come out in 2018. Like, this film was getting
Mhm.
delayed even way before the
Because
pandemic.
they had like 5 different
Yeah.
directors.
Yeah, like they're supposed to,
Yeah.
and
I
like what
feel bad.
according to Ray Fisher, who has to make everything about himself, he was in most of those scripts.
I like Andy
Oh,
Muschietti
boy.
as director. I think Andy Muschietti. I thought his in movies were very, very well done.
I
Yeah,
liked the
the best
first
thing
one. The
was
second one was I think part 2 is where it fell off. I don't know why it fell off. It just didn't work.
Here's the thing: even Stephen King has been open and said he's never been crazy about how he wrote part 2. So
True.
I feel like no director was ever gonna perfect that. What matters is the best that you can do with it.
I think it
Yeah.
should have just been a one thing. Yeah.
I think I think like looking back, I think it should have just been a series anyway,
Mhm.
like a long mini series, because it just I don't know when you get to that second chapter, it's like just like so much things feel out of place, and I
know
think
people
things
are-
aren't explained.
I know there's some people in certain fandom that don't like James Wan, but I'm telling you, James Wan is a great director.
It is.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to keep him, but I don't know if they're going to keep him for DC stuff though.
If they did a Justice League, another Justice League movie, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the candidates to do it.
Here's the thing: if Aquaman like 2 like makes like as much or almost as much money and gets around the same critical reception or better, I think they'll
Yeah.
keep James
Well,
Wan.
his Conjuring movies did the most money in that universe.
Well, I think they'll
Conjuring-
keep Jason Momoa. I don't know if they'll keep James Wan. I think James Wan will stay if he's loyal. They'll be
I
like,
mean-
well, you
Because
helped
Jason
I
us.
mean,
Momoa is
but-
James Wan,
the least
James Wan,
controversial
James
star.
Wan, and Humada go together, you know, because everything James Wan worked on, basically Humada worked on.
Yeah, and also too, I think it's guaranteed that they're gonna change out Mara, right? Like if you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah, she's
reshoot Ben
done.
Affleck,
Amber Heard's
you know what
done.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna add Ben Affleck, you probably are gonna recast somebody.
How with who? That's the question, right?
I have how many
Don't say
seasons?
Amelia Clark, people. No.
How many?
Emilia
seasons?
Clarke.
Amelia Clark.
Oh my goodness, she's the
Not a
Amelia
great
Clark is
actress.
like really short though. I
She's
don't
not, a
know.
great, she's not a great actress.
You
mean,
have to at least get someone that is like not. She's gonna look like sorry to say, but she's gonna look like a midget standing next to Jason Momoa. It's gonna be like weird. They gotta like
Yeah,
put
like,
an Apple box and
I
stuff.
have nothing against Emilia Clarke. It just
She's
feels
pretty
like she's
short.
just the go-to for any franchise. Like
What?
she's filming Secret Invasions right now.
Maybe one movie
She was
that's-
in Star Wars. She was in Terminator. It's like,
Maybe-
what, we're gonna throw her in DC next?
Maybe one movie.
She's in Marvel too.
Yeah, that's what I
Did
mean.
you-
Like
did
she's
you say
filming
that?
Secret
Maybe
Invasion right
one,
now.
Yeah.
It's like,
maybe one movie Amelia Clark has starred and has actually done well.
None.
exactly.
None. It's
I
so
mean,
sad
look,
though.
I enjoyed Solo, but Solo was a box office flop.
Solo's not. I never understood people who like Solo. Oh my god, that was one of the reasons why I was like, oh man, I can't watch another Star Wars spinoff ever, like a Star Wars spinoff movie. Oh,
Like it was okay. Like
I just sat down. I was like, why?
Well, the people admit it's hard to be just a Momoa because of Game of Thrones. You know that's from the first season, right?
Yo, it's
Momoa
like
was
the
only in the
people
first season of
who
Game of
want.
Yeah.
It's like the people who wanted Kristen
That was like a
Stewart to
decade
be
ago.
Catwoman.
That's a terrible pick. I don't know why.
It's
She's
like the
a.
people.
That's a cringe choice. I get like for the Matt Reeves one, right?
Yeah, for the Matt Reeves one, like that reminds me of those people.
You know,
Whoever said that, please stop. Just get off the
those
internet.
people,
I can't believe she was cast as Diana.
for what?
As
Like
Diana.
Catwoman, her as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember in 2019, before Zoe Kravitz was casted, but after Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman, people were like, "Let's get Kristen Stewart as Catwoman." I was like, "What the hell?
No.
No, I ain't starting this Twilight bullshit again."
I actually like that they picked someone that was like mixed as for Catwoman. Like I always pictured Catwoman not being white. Like she has to be kind of like
Because there's been
You-
a lot
you-
of
you
like
have,
incarnations of Catwoman being that.
You have
Yeah.
Catwoman in the Harley Quinn show, similar to that.
yeah. There's always been like I mean there's Holly Berry and then there's
Oh, fuck.
the '60s
There was like
Catwoman.
3 Catwomans, right? There was like different Catwomans in the 60s. There was
Yeah.
1 for the movie and 2 for the show. Eartha Kitt is the one you're talking about for the show.
I don't know. It just always made sense to me that Catwoman was not like white. Like she could be mixed. Like she could be black and white, or she can be, like I don't mind that. I think that makes more sense.
It's just how like there's not really a definitive like with Catwoman. It's just how she's drawn and colored in comic
Yeah.
book.
It's just that like when they draw them, they always draw them the same. It's kind of like the Robins too. Like I never felt like the Robins looked different.
Every comic book, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's true. The Robins almost have all the same kind of hair.
Yeah, it's like dark hair and blue eyes. It's like
I know.
That's
Yeah,
it.
the same kind of face. They all look. They could practically all be brothers. You know.
Yeah, they look way too. Go back and look at There's a panel with all of them standing in like suits in the Scott Snyder run, and I was like, bruh. I'm like, dude, they look like the same character.
Like, it's almost like they also look similar to a younger Bruce Wayne too.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I just hate that they all look alike. It's like, come on, like.
That's true. The only one that didn't look alike was obviously Steve.
Except Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne is too short.
Well, Damian Wayne actually.
Well, now all of a sudden, now they made like Damian Wayne look more Arab because of his mom, and I was like, that's also kind of weird because I'm like, they're Talia al Ghul has always been white. Like she's always been depicted as white. I've never felt like she was supposed to be like Arab descent or like Middle Eastern, even though that's where they're technically from.
Yeah, like, and I know the Dark Knight trilogy they didn't talk with like a Middle East because I know Liam Neeson's character Ra's didn't talk with a Middle Eastern accent. Yeah, she talked with more of a British accent. He was handing Ducard / Ra's al Ghul. They kind of combined 2 characters into one, and the Batman Begins.
Yeah, I mean, you should just commit to it. Like, don't like one person drawing her white and then like someone comes along and this is like an official. You seen those Toon comics, right? That like DC has been licensing out. Because that's what I've been mostly talking about for Damian Wayne. Because that's what I see all over Twitter, and I'm like, where they make like he has like a little bit more of a darker complexion.
Oh, that's from the series called Robin.
Yeah. Oh, that's also in the comic too.
No, it's the Damian Wayne series is called Robin, and that's where you see like a darker skin color with.
And what was that? The Toon comics or like?
I think so. Like,
okay.
it's just like the Robin series leads up to Shadow War and everything like that between what is it? Deathstroke. You have the League of Assassins. You have like Damian Wayne, Batman, and have you read Shadow War?
No.
Yeah, it's actually it's pretty damn good. Like you're not gonna expect the ending. I read it. I really like it.
Fuck off.
I haven't been following anything Batman recently until like I only picked up the Chip Zdarsky thing and I was like, okay, I can kind of pick up on what's going
Oh
on.
yeah, Bruce Wayne is poor. Joker has all the money.
Yeah, he's broken. Yeah,
Stupid.
but also too isn't someone's got to correct me. Maybe Arkham can correct me. Isn't Catwoman supposed to be pregnant? Because I was a little bit confused because I heard someone say that and I was like, what the fuck? But
What?
she's like,
Batman got
No,
her pregnant?
she's not. I think they got confused. Okay,
someone told me that like in the Tom King because I haven't been reading that.
Okay, the Tom King is a Black Label story. That's not connected to.
I thought it was. Oh, okay.
It's not in the main continuity. So
Why they always change that though? Because they said that after he got kicked off, the Batman and Catwoman was supposed to be connected to like it was supposed to finish off his run, and then now it's just an out of continuity story.
yeah, I guess but
Oh man.
Black so like the Tom King it's called Batman / Catwoman.
Mhm.
It's labeled as a Black Label story. So like I went it usually has that print that says Black Label. So like
Yeah. Because
and
sometimes they do. Sometimes like they do. It is out of continuity, but like what I've been noticing is that they're trying to fit it into continuity somehow. Like if it makes sense.
yeah, right now, in the main continuity with Batman, they have the failsafe story.
Mm.
Because like you had Dark Crisis, and like just Dark Crisis is happening with like Pariah and like the Dark Army and stuff like that, and the Justice League dying, and like you know when Batman always has a contingency plan and everything like that. So like he makes
Mm.
like a failsafe. It's called failsafe. It's called failsafe, and like when something happens to Batman, he always has a contingency plan
Yeah.
for someone to be Batman, and he has like this kind of robot thing.
Yeah.
You saw pictures of the robot thing.
Yeah, I read it. I read that's
you
Chip
read it.
Zdarsky's. Yeah.
I
That's why I was
thought
like
you did.
confused. I'm like, I recently read the Chip Zdarsky one, and I thought that it was pretty decent. My only gripe was that was like, it's a nitpick. I was like, this man changed in the middle of in the ballroom, and no one saw him. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, dude, how does nobody not see him put on the mask and shit? I'm like, that's insane. I'm that was just such a nitpick because it was such a crowded, like everybody was running away, like everybody would see that. You know what I mean? Like it was, it bothered me so much reading that.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Yes. I'm gonna end it here, guys. We almost went 3 hours. Like, it's
Damn.
a long-
Wow.
Did you hear Doom Patrol? Doom
Yeah,
Patrol had three seasons, right?
Yes.
It's gonna end at the 4th season.
Yeah, 4th season. So technically, if you think about it, Doom Patrol is technically being canceled.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, guys.
I would expect the same thing with Titans.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm gonna end it here, guys. I'm gonna go on another stream very soon. I'm gonna go on another stream very soon. I think you guys know who it is, but I'm pretty sure you know who it is, George.
Yeah.
if he's, but yeah, go plug your stuff. George, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Go plug your stuff.
Sorry, I was just emailing some things for work, but yeah, I'll plug in first. So you can just find me at Just George, and I've been reviewing Kevin Smith movies in preparation for Clerks 3, and I started a monthly Harry Potter review series, so please check out those reviews.
Nice.
Brian Braille.
You can find me at Blinded Braille on Twitter. I just post about Marvel and DC and movies and games, obviously. Rants.
The Marvel game, Iron Man. Saw that.
Yep, that's gonna be. I hope that's good.
I hope. Arkham, go ahead.
You can find me at Arkham Gaming. You can find my YouTube. I do comic book reviews, video games, and etc. with DC. And you can find me on Twitter at Arkham Gaming.
All right, thank you guys. So you guys know, so I'm back. I'm gonna stream something Saturday. We kind of what I said we was gonna do Saturday is how we reboot DC. I think we kind of talked a lot about it, but we'll do it again on Saturday if we want. Um, we could talk about other random stuff. But yeah, so with me, guys, I'm back. You look up for some videos, streams about not just comic book stuff, maybe other stuff too, reviews, video game stuff, video game streams. I can now stream from my Series X and Switch with a better laptop with the capture card and stuff. But yeah, look out for that. This month, She-Hulk. If you haven't known, She-Hulk's been moved a day to Thursday, the 18th. So for now on, She-Hulk is on Thursday. So that might be a sign that the Disney Plus shows will be on Thursdays for the Marvel stuff. And I'm gonna do She-Hulk review. It's about 9 episodes, 8 or 9 episodes. They're shorter episodes than a typical MCU show. So spec reviews on that. And then September, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Are you guys gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah,
Probably not.
should.
I don't do Amazon.
I'll come and George. Do Amazon.
Oh, you gotta
I ain't
get
doing
Amazon.
Yeah.
I ain't doing Amazon Prime. No, listen, I use Amazon just to buy DVDs for my reviews.
Oh man, you've never seen The Boys?
Yo, I just haven't had the time. Like here's the thing, I used to have Amazon Prime for free when I was in college, but then I graduated and my free thing expired, and I have already too many streaming services.
You gotta check The Boys out though.
Yeah. And then I'm actually looking forward to the Sandman.
Yeah, I might check that out too.
Yeah. Is it out this month, right? It comes out this month?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm checking that out. I'm checking out Sandman. But
I'll check it out.
Netflix. Remember, it's on Netflix. Everybody's on Netflix. So if you have Netflix,
Did you
check
guys
it out.
see the I think it was the Batgirl footage?
Yeah, I saw.
I think it was pretty good. And they also, I think Gotham Knights showed a few new suits. I'm totally
Oh yeah, the gameplay wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it here, guys, because I got to go on the stream. Take care. I'll see you there,
See ya.
guys.